All right. So I have no idea if this is gonna work. Um, but we're gonna give it a shot. I don't know if this is streaming or not. So while I am waiting for everyone, as my dog goes crazy, um, I I have no idea if this is working or not because nobody's here yet. So while I'm waiting for this to start, I am gonna talk about. There you guys are. I was ready to start talking. I don't know if you guys were gonna see this, if you didn't see it, but it's worked. It's streaming and it's working. We got a background. It's a little glitchy, but it's working. It did work. I'm very excited. And we have sound and everything. I could change the background at will. Hey, Marissa. First link the YT sent out didn't have a chat. Yeah, I didn't know like how to do it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go with it and see what happens. And here we are. Hey, Sweezy. So the first like half of this, I really kind of want to talk about other things besides making a murderer. So I'm more than willing for you guys to come up with stuff. How's Wolf? Who's Wolf? Oh, I actually know what you're talking about. I forgot the guy's last name. He's doing good. Hey, Maggie. I can't really move much because it's kind of glitchy. So I know, isn't it cool? I could change the background at will too. Hey, Brian. I just can't move. As long as I don't move, it's not glitchy. Um, hey, Tara. All right, so Chris Watts. Let's start there. Thanks, Fallon. Um, Chris Watts goes to court Monday to sign away basically his entire life. I still think he's gonna pull it. I really hope he does. I can't even imagine just rolling over for all 9 counts. Boom, done. Um, I I have a feeling he's gonna pull it. I don't know why. I just do. I have pink pajamas on. I actually bought them today. Um, yeah, Marissa, we got it all. Angela hooked it up good. It took like 5 hours this morning. Hey, Beck. Um, stupid, stupid, stupid. I don't get it. You better pull it. Hey, LT. What are you guys talking about? I'm lost. Oh, duh. You talking about I thought you were talking about the screen. That's why I was like, what? I agree with you, Marissa. Travis, are you familiar with the case? You're an attorney. Are you familiar with the case? Tell me why somebody would allow their client to just roll over. I, it, it makes no sense to me. Like, I get it, of course, public defender, but I still don't understand, like, why all 9 counts, not even the DA won't even budge on any of it. Like, why would you just roll over to 9 counts? Half of the world thinks he didn't kill his kids. I don't get it. Yes, but through you. Oh, you're really not familiar with the case? It's pretty interesting, and it really goes to show public defenders. Aw, Maggie, you're so sweet. Um, all right, that's fine by me. Hey, I got hands free. My next step is I'm gonna get a microphone with an arm, and then I'm really gonna be professional because there's nothing more annoying than having to wear this headset. I told everyone. Oh, thanks, Sheila. Laura's the first to report from the live CNN studio in her PJs. That's right. I do. I went out and bought these today. I was like, if I can't wear a leather jacket, they'll kill me. And then I was gonna buy like all I had was like Santa Claus ones, and that wasn't happening. So, no, his mom and dad think he didn't do it. Though half the world thinks he didn't do it. I know he did it, but you don't plead guilty to all 9 counts. You just don't do it. You take your chances. Period. You just I just can't comprehend that he's just rolling over. All right, Rebecca's in her PJs. I have my wine, by the way. It's right here. Um, no, it's not just his mom and dad tried. It's all over Facebook groups. Forget trolls, but all over Facebook groups because she is so a drama queen online. I mean, a drama queen videos, which a lot of people don't seem to understand. She's like that because she makes money doing that, so she's constantly recording her family. If I could make money recording my family, I would too all the time. And people judged her and say, "Oh, she was a wacko. She didn't, she probably killed her kid." It's ridiculous. I'm like, "Oh my God, that was how she made a living." He killed him, and now he isn't putting her family. But Amber, that was like everybody's thought, but my feeling is he doesn't care about her family. What the fuck does he care? He's a total narcissist who killed his whole family. For what reason, nobody knows. I think it's another Scott Peterson. And just threw them away like trash. Do you really think he cares about her family? I don't think so. I think there's more to it. His girlfriend side screen thinks he did it all. He did do it all. I said that from day one. Totally convinced. Melissa, PJ's a comfrey. You know what? I said the same thing earlier to Irikos. I said, or Travis. I said it to you, Travis. I said, I have not worn real pajamas in God knows how long, and they are so comfortable. I don't know why I stopped wearing them. He had bad lawyers. I agree. He had completely bad lawyers that probably don't want to try this case. They don't want the state to pay for the case. So they said, screw it. We're not going to do it. And even a public defender, I can't imagine just convincing you to just roll over on all nine. Screw it. Just go. It's just crazy to me. Case is so new. I don't think I've seen a murder case plead out in a long time, period. What's the reason people think he didn't do it? Because they're idiots? Because they judge her for what they see on TV. I'm sorry, what they see on YouTube and all her videos and stuff, and then rumors start flying and everything else, and I don't understand how you could think he didn't do it. He's beating the death penalty. You don't know anything about his lawyers. I don't, but I do know that his lawyers obviously don't want to try the case because no lawyer that I've ever met would ever tell their client to plead out, ever. His girlfriend, no, I don't think his girlfriend could have been next, but I personally think it's just personal observation after reading what his girlfriend wrote on for an article in magazine or whatever. I am totally convinced that he had told her that his divorce was ending, and I think that's why he did it, because now he didn't want to look like an asshole, and so he just killed everybody. I mean, maybe kids were after, I don't know. I mean, we won't know till the autopsy report, but to me, it's gotta be that he just didn't want to look like a liar, so he killed his family. I can't explain the logic, but it's there. Majority of us Coloradans know he did it. Beck, I've said it from day one that he did it. I mean, it was so blatantly obvious. He looked guilty in his TV interview. I agree. You're wrong. A DP cases are pled all the time. Really? I didn't know that. I'm thinking high-profile cases. Did he get public defenders? Yeah, he had public defenders. He didn't want to plead guilty, but his lawyers wanted. Yeah, Travis, that's true. He didn't want to plead guilty. His lawyers forced him to. I don't know why I can't talk tonight. Forced him to. DP is death penalty. It is glitch. That's why I'm trying not to move. Falcon, we're talking about Chris Watts. This is how it works in the real world, whatever fantasy law. I honestly didn't think that death penalties were pled out, but I mean, I'm not an attorney and I was never facing the death penalty. It makes no sense that he would plead to 2 counts of killing each kid. Yeah, Marissa, I don't get that either, but I don't know that much about the law on that end to say like why they would do that. Um, I don't know what. State makes an offer. How many children? They only had 2 kids. Well, they had 2 kids, and then she was pregnant. Colorado is East California now. He'd never be executed here. See, let me say something though. I don't know. I know they were saying that that's why he took the plea because of the death penalty and that he wouldn't, that he may not be killed for 20 years. But death sentence is still a lot worse than general population. General population, at least you can interact with people, you get TV, you get rights, you get privileges. You don't get anything in death row. Death row is like a million times worse, even if you don't die. If you plead LWOP, if not whole enchilada, where you're going for death, we have approval of family. Actually, her family didn't want death penalty. He wouldn't have gotten death penalty. His lawyer. Yeah, I say the same thing, Sheila. I think they could have taken that off the table. Amber, I agree. Those girls were so cute. Attorney has an ethical duty to present it. Okay, I'll buy that. Better food in death row. More to it than death penalty, not sure, but more to it. I agree, L2. We all keep saying the same thing, that there's more to it. Right, maybe that's how they got him to plead guilty. Client accepts or rejects. Don't more counts, charges equal more agreements. The defense has to counter. Yeah. But when you plead out a case, like innocent or guilty, you like plea bargain. You say, all right, if you take this off, we'll accept this. If you take this off, and he just rolled over on all 9. That's what I don't understand. They could like child killers. Yeah, they don't like child killers. To your point, most clients ask for attorney recommendations. What do you mean by attorney recommendations by that? Like that? Laura was saying last night, death penalty should be done with. My thoughts. I think the death penalty works a lot. I am old school when it comes eye for an eye. You kill my kid, you're going to be dead. You kill people on the street, you're going to be dead. I don't see anything wrong with doing it as long as they are 120% sure that the person isn't as guilty. I think cases that are circumstantial, like I honestly don't believe Scott Peterson should be on death row. It was too circumstantial. If there is solid proof of true confession, like Ted Bundy, solid proof that somebody did it, absolutely, I agree with the death penalty. If it's someone like Scott Peterson, no, I think you may put an innocent man to, and I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm saying that there wasn't enough proof, in my opinion, to put him on death row. I just watched a Netflix documentary where an inmate wanted the death penalty to be on death row to have a nicer stay. I wouldn't want to be on death row. It's like 23 hours a day. They can make an offer that says you have 48 hours to accept or it's off the table. Argument for death penalty, John Wayne Gacy. If you admit to killing them, kill them. Yeah, like not if you admit to killing them, but if there's solid proof that that person did it and killed, how many people or whatever, yeah, I believe they deserve to die. I don't think he's innocent, but I don't think there was enough proof to put him on death row. It reminds me of Darlie Rowdy or whatever case too. I believe in my heart of hearts she's guilty as sin, but I don't think there was enough true evidence to definitively say she was guilty. I have an issue with a lot of these high profile cases. I just don't think there's enough evidence. That is a system we have now for death. The thing is though, like I'm okay with our system. I've said this before. 95% of the time, our system gets it right. Yeah, it sucks for the 5% because they really are innocent and who wants to go to jail for a crime they didn't commit, especially like ruin their whole life. but it happens. But 95% of the time, we get it right. That's pretty solid results. And nobody should like really focus on the 5% that we don't get right, even though it would be nice if we could get it completely right. But we need to look at, okay, 95% of the time we do get it right. So you want the jury to find that he is really, no, not jury. I just want solid evidence, solid proof that so and so did it. Forget jury. Juries are just everyday people, but solid, undeniable proof before you're going to put someone to death. I'm not talking just sending them to jail. I'm talking to put them to death. It's hard to take another life, so make sure they did it with proof. That's what I'm saying. Like, it has to be, if they're not sure, that is reasonable doubt. Exactly, but a lot of people don't get off on reasonable doubt. Some do, but very few actually can win that with reasonable doubt. Casey Anthony did. I believe she did it. People were freaking out about her, her getting away with it, but there wasn't enough evidence. A lot of people say, oh, that jury sucked. Actually, that jury did what they were supposed to do. They didn't go by feelings. They went by evidence. That's what I'm talking about. Heather's Vanity, I saw the same documentary. If a prisoner has a life sentence, death row may be an upgrade from general pop. So only cases where there is video. No, not video. There could be solid proof. Solid proof, lack of video. All right, I'll use Chris Watts, for example. Chris Watts' wife came home at 1 o'clock in the morning. She was pregnant. He then laid her in a shallow grave and threw his kids in an oil barrel. That's pretty convincing to me that he's guilty of killing them. Because if his story was even remotely true about her killing them, that's where logic comes in, though. Nobody's going to walk in at 2 o'clock in the morning pregnant, decide, let's kill my kids tonight. Then he kills them and throws them in an oil barrel. It's not even logical. So the only logical conclusion is he did it. That's proof to me. Who decides you? I don't get that. Oh, who decides? No, obviously a jury does, but I'm saying that evidence that's presented. Show me undeniable evidence. Casey Anthony is a good example. Scott Peterson was convicted because of a jury. They were emotions. There was no solid evidence that he killed his wife. There was some circumstantial. There was fancy talk by the lawyers, by the DA, but I mean that was tried in the media. Period. Solid evidence. I don't know. I can tell you what's not solid evidence. I'll give you another example of what's not solid evidence. OJ Simpson, if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. It was the stupidest thing I ever heard. Why? Logically, a leather glove is going to shrink over time. OJ in jail is going to get bigger over time. Therefore, his hand's going to expand. Therefore, the glove's going to shrink. Of course, the glove's not going to fit because it's been some time and his hand already got bigger. It was the stupidest thing to let him go on, but they did because they didn't use logic. But I get that. I know he was found not guilty because of the glove. A lot of people said it was because of the glove that he wasn't acquitted. There were rumors and stuff, but how could he have killed him if the glove didn't fit? Well, I just explained how the glove didn't fit, but I wasn't in that jury. It was a bad reason. The killer's blood with the victim is as solid as evidence there will ever be. OJ is an actor. I agree with OJ as an actor. I feel death penalty cases, since DP exists, that it should be reserved for serial killers and people who are very high up as far as a threat goes. Okay. Canada, US 70 versus conviction rate. Thomas, I said that earlier that I don't hate our system. Like 95% of the time they do get it right. Johnny Cochran was smooth. You are saying the penalty should be different if not solid evidence. I'm saying they asked me if I believe in the death penalty. I believe in the death penalty for proof. Would I have sent Scott Peterson to jail? Yes. Would I have sent Scott Peterson to death penalty? No. Hey, Karen. Solid evidence. Ted Bundy had solid evidence. Son of Sam had solid evidence. I'm trying to think other cases. Who was convicted that went? In my opinion, Chris Watts is solid evidence. You throw your kids in oil barrels when if somebody else killed them? No, that's dumb. And then you go on national TV lying about it. To me, that's solid evidence that he did it. I did watch Chris' mom interview. Where if you had Ted Bundy, the mass fear you have created is such is worthy of DP, where a passion type kill with your wife, etc., doesn't instill that fear. I agree. Their behavior after the fact was, but that's what I'm saying. Like Travis, you're asking. It's Sheila. It's a good point. I keep saying this too. That Travis, you keep asking me for one specific thing, but the same thing that I keep telling people about making a murderer, it's not one thing. It's a totality of a situation. I can't point at one thing unless there's a confession. You have to look at the whole picture and where the dots connected. That's to me how every case needs to be looked at. I know a lot of people don't think like I do, but that's how I think. You can't just see one thing. Like Thomas Hens, for example, sees one thing. Jeffrey Dahmer, perfect example. That's solid evidence. A good one, Millbilly. That's solid. I think Casey should have went to prison, and Jody had solid evidence. Oh, Jody Arias, solid evidence. Another good one. I miss it. She didn't go to a wedding, only her son. Seems to go a long way towards more solid evidence at trial. CIFS, who am I missing? What's CIFS? State wants to go to DP. They need to fund the defense the same amount, at least $1 million. And I understand that, Travis, but that's saying exactly what I said yesterday. And that is that, you can't sit there and say that the public defender works for the client when they're worried about what the state has to pay for it. They're entitled to a trial no matter what is on the table. They're entitled to representation no matter what's on the table. Doesn't fucking matter what it costs. That's what I was trying to say yesterday. DP, death penalty. No, Thomas and I are looking at the totality, as you often said. I do often say it. You can pick your attorney, pick your experts. They don't worry. What do you mean? With essay, it's not just the blood in the RAV4, but it's each individual situation without linking it all together. There's too many factors with making a murderer that links it together that makes it totally different. Yeah, I was wondering what CIFS too. Karen, I didn't understand it either. But Falcon, again, you're taking, I can't move that much because I'm going to cut out. You're taking one instance or each individual factor without putting it all together. You have to put it all together. You get $1 million defense, hire who you want. I understand, but as a public defender, the point of a public defender is to represent you in your best interest, not the best interest of the state. Forget public defender. That's what an attorney does. They're supposed to represent you in the best interest of you so you get a fair trial. With public defenders, that doesn't happen. People want to save the state money. that's not representing you and giving you a fair trial. You don't need an attorney to do that. You can save the state a bunch of money by doing that. It's not fair to the client because you're not working for the client, you're working for the state, which is my exact point to begin with. See, I have a nonprofit for forensic science. See, I have a Dean and Jerry's new thing. I don't know pleas should be offered, and I don't think they should be taken. They don't. In Avery's case, if one thing is planted, it all was. I agree with that, Millaby. You don't pick one thing, you put together the whole puzzle together. Exactly. You are simply wrong on that. Not that way in New York, New Jersey, MA, California. What's not that way? That public defenders don't suck? Public defenders in New York suck. I grew up there. I am, though, the bullet plus bones plus... Yeah, but Falcon, that's each individual thing. That's not putting it all together. All right, a quick example. Criminology. Forget psychology, but criminology is about taking each of those things and putting together a story. How did it all happen? Why did it happen? Profiling. It's all about putting together a story. You can't just look at each individual piece and not piece it to a story. And when you do those individual pieces, they don't link to a story. They're just individual pieces. That's where you and I completely disagree. When you start to piece it together, it does not equal what Kratz said. Most PD offices are separate, independent. Appointed attorneys make more if they go to trial. Well, yeah, because it's a lot longer. Can't bring up past behavior is irrelevant. They do an Idaho 2 story. Case with 90 to 95% of case with a plea deal. If there were no pleas, the system would collapse. I'm not saying no pleas, but don't plead to... I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say, but I was always told you never cop to anything. Doesn't matter what it is. You do not cop to it. You deny, deny, deny. Appointed attorneys make... but I know in New York for traffic tickets, my brother's a cop there. Don't ever plead to a traffic ticket. He's told me that my whole life. I mean, I haven't gotten one since he became a cop in New York, but you know what I mean. And my lawyers told me that too. Don't ever admit to anything. Watt should not be discussing a plea at all only after 2-3 months. He's barely arraigned. Never mind in a mental state where he can actually say, yeah, throw away the key. I agree. Marissa, I am completely 110% in agreement with you. Didn't happen with Stephen Avery and he paid for his. I mean, not every single person that pays for an attorney, is going to get off. But, I mean, you're more likely going to get off without a public defender and a private attorney than you would with a public defender. Story, what story? Why I had attorneys? I had a custody fight from hell for 6 years. I don't know anything about North Carolina law. I know that Brenda's attorneys have spent well over $1 million already. I commend them for all they've put into it. Essay was kind of a bad dude. You know what, Falcon? Ken Kratz was a hell of a lot worse. Len Kaczynski is a hell of a lot worse. As I said in another video, I would stay next door to Stephen Avery long before I would ever live next door to Ken Kratz. They have to prove it, and if they can't... I told my daughter to keep her mouth shut, and she stabbed a girl. Ooh, that's rough. She okay? Not even going to fight with you, Falcon. How is Steven's behavior in jail? Well, we know Brandon's not a perfect person. And what? That I would rather live next to Ken Kratz? Ken Kratz has been convicted of more sexual deviance than Stephen Avery ever has. So if you want to know your facts about Stephen Avery, yeah, a lot of things have been, tried to be convicted of. He's never been convicted of a sexual crime, ever. He And when I say convicted, doesn't mean you haven't been arrested or whatever, but he's never been convicted of a sexual crime. He's never been diagnosed as a narcissist. Guess what? Ken Kratz has. Len Kaczynski was in jail for because he couldn't stay away from harassing his secretary, and he went to jail for it. A judge went to jail for it. Stephen Avery, again, has never been convicted of a sexual crime that, like, he was guilty of. I mean, obviously the rape charge, but he wasn't guilty of it. Falcon, I'm dead serious. Everybody is convicted. Tell me what sexual crime Stephen Avery was convicted of besides the one that was false. You know, the 18 years. He has never been convicted. Falsely accused is not guilt. I completely agree. Stuff said that there was not enough evidence for him to convict. Scary too, living next door to Kaczynski, meowing at me, exactly. The defense did not raise doubt about how any of the forensic evidence. They had a stipulation not to dispute the identity of any of the DNA evidence, Falcon. If no one wrongly accused, no reason for court. I agree. I skipped one. So Thomas was saying that the defense did not raise doubt about any of the forensic evidence. They had a stipulation not to dispute the identity of any of the DNA evidence. Defense alleged planning without any proof. Marissa writes, anyone can be accused of a sexual crime regardless if it happened or not, or any crime. That is why we have a just system, Falcon. If no one wrongly accused, no reason for court. Absolutely agree with that. I was falsely accused of a whole bunch of shit from my ex. I got arrested for it. It was all thrown out, like, before it even went to court, but it's still on my record. I mean, people can throw shit. I could say anyone in here raped me, and they'll go after them. It doesn't mean it happened. Stephen has owned up to everything he's ever done. I agree with that, Shweezy. He was kind of a scummy dude, not a bad dude. No violent behavior in prison after 18 years wrongfully. Agreed. Kaczynski and his 18 cats. If they get to civil trials, do you think Stephen and Brendan would be done together? I guess it depends. I don't think they can. Laura, I know a lot of bad people who have never been convicted. They're still very, very bad people. But Falcon, you can't blame him. Essay had 3 felony what felony convictions? Because everything that I know about Stephen Avery was not felony convictions. They were accused. He was accused of stuff. He never had a felony conviction of a sexual felony conviction that he was convicted of. So if you want, you can prove me wrong. Oh yeah, but Travis, I was talking about sexual deviance, not just felonies. I'm talking sexual deviance. I thought I said that. Thomas, the defense failed Avery. I agree. We know that won't be the case in the next round. Certainly hope not. Lennon his cat calls. I mean, do you know how hard it is to send a fucking judge to jail, especially in that state? She got house arrest. She's done with it now. The woman was on meth and went after my grandson, and my daughter started fighting. I would have killed her, too. Daughter took the knife and stabbed her. I probably would have done the same thing. All on camera. That's solid evidence. We had 2 burglaries, deadly contact, and animal cruelty. Yes, none of that is sexual deviance, though. I was talking sexual deviance. What is deadly conduct? I never heard that term. Kaczynski, I hope he gets enough pussy before he goes to jail. Brian, I almost forgot you were there. I have never seen so much evidence in a missing persons homicide case. Most times, they don't even find a body, and certainly not the killer's blood with the victim. The killer's blood wasn't with the victim. It was in two separate places. It was not mixed together. I believe he entered into plea agreements on all those, but pled. Yeah, but that was all from the same, from from Bernstein. It was all the same case. That's it. There was nothing more to it. And he's never been charged with sexual deviance like everybody accuses him of. I believe me, I am not for Stephen Avery being the next president. I never ever have said that Stephen Avery or Brendan Dassey were wonderful people. I have never said that I'm so into this case for Stephen Avery or Brendan. It's the injustice that took place that is undeniable in my eyes. You just can't even, in my opinion, you can't even deny that this whole thing is a nightmare. But it doesn't matter who it is. It could be Stephen Avery, it could be Ted Bundy. They still deserve a fair trial. I mean, they never got a fair trial, period. Pulling a gun on his cousin Cat thing. Oh yeah, that's what it was. He pulled the gun. That was the other charge, but that was all part of the same thing. On the tape and murder. Who are we talking about? Are you talking about Chris Watts? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Travis. Sexual crime whatsoever, but he has 4 prior felonies. 4 prior felonies, all centered around the exact same case. He was an idiot when he was young. That doesn't make him a murderer who chopped somebody up and raped her and cut her hair and everything else. I mean, all right, so he did some stupid things when he was young. So do a lot of people. Marissa, that's not saying much. Stephen Avery knows more about politics than the current president. We need the facts, just the facts. Falcon, just because BC someone is gross doesn't mean they're a criminal. I agree. That's like saying if the victim's blood is in the bedroom and the accused blood who should not be in the house is in the sink, then the accused must be innocent because it's not mixed. No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said at all. Amber, that is not my argument. Heather, is that when his cousin accused him of running her off the road and pulling a gun on her? I believe that he did that. I mean, he admitted to doing that. But I don't know if you guys have ever been a target of a true smear campaign. I have. It is horrible. Absolutely horrible. I mean, people kill themselves over smear campaigns. So if Steven was so worked up over it, took an empty gun, I don't blame her. I may have killed my ex if I was not raised as well as I had been. I probably would have killed my ex and be sitting in jail right now for a smear campaign. That's why I also don't believe in guns. Whoever said Teresa was terminally ill, she wasn't terminally ill. 4 separate cases, 4 separate dates. What were the dates? I don't see where those dates are because he was in jail for 18 years. He was out for 3. He didn't get arrested when he was out. Now he's been in another 10. So when did he do these felonies? Chad Keller. Oh, please. Is he even still around, Brian? He's an idiot. I wouldn't even read his book. He's a complete moron. He's another narcissist. Yes, I have, and I ran them off the road. Not a gun to their head, but I had a good public defender. Hey, okay, Travis. She didn't know it was empty. Who does that? Someone that's raised like Steven does that. But whether she knew it was empty or not, she shouldn't have done a smear campaign. Period. They were all prized. So he was a kid. Chad Keller's an analyst on law and crime here on YouTube. Greg, Chad Keller is a fucking idiot. Oh, and you know what? I apologize. I'm thinking somebody else, Chad Keller. I apologize. There's two Chad Kellers. There's one that's a fucking idiot, and there's one that I believe is pretty, he's got the gray hair. He interviewed Buting. If that's the one you're talking about, the one that wrote the book is an idiot. He's no analyst. He's a narcissist. If you're talking about Keller, that had the gray hair that interviewed Buting, that was at the trial. I don't even know his name. That's Chad Kelly. All right, I just know Chad Keller that wrote the book Beyond Avery Road is a fucking idiot, but that's neither here nor there. Someone whose normal threshold is set different than most others on planet Earth. That's who. It was prior to 85. I do believe he got off on the gun thing, and that's why they framed him for the penny thing, personal grudges. Only three I can think of: running off-road, cat abuse, robbing a bar. Yeah, I robbed a bar for beer or something, which, whatever. Bobby did look at the evidence on the computer. Why would he have Teresa picture on there? And about DNA, he's worried about something. How could the jury acquit him on the corpse mutilation charges, yet find him guilty on the murder charge and the kidnapping charge when clearly the body was mutilated? Just something makes sense there. I agree with that. Aaron Keller, you're right. It's Aaron Keller that I'm thinking of with that interviewed Buting. Thank you, Peter. I really hope you guys are not listening to Chad Keller, like, honestly. The reporter is the guy that I'm talking about, Aaron Keller. He did a good interview with Buting a few months back. Yeah, that's Aaron Keller. Travis, can you address Hens on what he just said? Hens said, where are you, Hens? There is no evidence that anything was planted. The defense raised none at trial, and Zellner has theories. Theories are not admissible as evidence in court. That's not totally true. Thomas, that's not true, though. And they did bring up some stuff that was planted. They just didn't do it right. I mean, even Kratz said that, well, even if the key was planted, it still doesn't matter. Yeah, it does matter. So, Thomas, I completely agree. I disagree with you. Looks at you suspiciously. Those don't look. They are two jammies. They are total jammies. Brooke, I did. Where are we? Is that true? That Zellner has gotten permission to the DNA testing from the Dassey garage? I believe so. Chad makes me nuts. Chad's a fucking moron. I can't even believe he's still around. He lies more than anyone I've ever known. I thought my ex lied like no other. No, Chad's worse. Thomas just repeats the same crap. Not a fan of Trump, but can lose the CNN background. I could change it. You want to try something else? We'll do horror. Boom. How's that? If you have read everything, then you don't understand the standards for admissibility. I'm assuming that's at Tom. Laura, remind me, is it the cousin was part of the smear campaign? The one that he put the gun to, Heather, is the one that started the smear campaign. It's his cousin, the one that was being depoted or whatever, and then denied it, took it back saying, oh, I never said that or whatever. Changed her whole story on the deposition. Yeah, it's his cousin. Bobby had a pic of Teresa on a computer, but it was the missing picture. It wasn't, a personal picture. It was just a missing picture. He had Steven too. He didn't actually say that though, did he? Say what? Who didn't say what, Falcon? I think they're in their own conversation. After Zelna proved that Scott was on Avery at noon, and you hear him on the phone call with Barb saying he never stepped foot on the property. Big lie. And he admits Bobby saying he's seen her leave. Bobby's story had changed so many times that it's kind of scary. You don't even know what's what. But I don't like that one. There you go. How do you know so much about Chad Kellerfeller? Me and Chad have gone rounds, big time rounds. Started 2 years ago when he just ran his mouth about the biggest bunch of bullshit I ever heard. He is the biggest liar, narcissist, conspiracy theorist I've ever known. And he tries to convince himself that the stuff is real. He makes up shit. He lies. It's just, he's pathetic. I honestly didn't think he was still around. Falcon, I don't know who you're talking about. He didn't actually say that, though. After Zelna proved that Scott was on Avery's at noon, and you can hear him in a phone call with Barb saying that he never stepped foot on the property. Big lie. Oh, I said that already. You may not agree with her conclusions. Did I miss it? You may not agree with her conclusions, which is fine, but she had submitted evidence on admissible form. Yeah, I agree. I'll agree with that. Lose the background altogether. It's very glitchy. I can't, though. Everything is set up to it. I don't know how to, like, completely lose it. I'm just not going to move. Put a beach or a bar? You want a bar? I don't have any bars downloaded. I could find one. Whoops. Uh-oh. Did I lose you guys? No. Well, that's kind of weird. Bar background. Hang on, guys. That's too small. There we go. All right, give me a moment. Bar. How's that? Nice beer next to me. I know, Greg. That's why I'm trying not to move. We're not sure how to make it less glitchy. Whoop. Can't just go live without a program linked. You turn profile and disappear. I know. That's why I'm trying not to move. I want a refund. Tough. Corbin was off of work the day the car was planted, and in this interview, he can't remember what he did the whole day. Colburn's an idiot, and he is definitely guilty. There's no evidence. Oh my God, I'm tired of hearing there's plenty of evidence. Maybe plaid pink wasn't the best choice. It's not that. It's glitchy from the program. I was reading about it before I started. A village idiot can see that evidence was planted. Says, anyone think the progress DNA search in the Dassey garage will turn up anything? It's been 12 years. But all other days he can remember in the file transcripts. Falcon, there's enough reasonable doubt. If I say that all the time, it's because it's true all the time. But it's not true all the time. Thanks, Marissa. Falcon, I think you should donate. Putting up with you and all your, he's guilty, guilty, guilty. Travis, she had the COA dismiss Avery's January 2016 appeal for ineffective counsel. She submitted the latch swab, key, and bullet as new evidence. Judge is an idiot. Ruled it was not new evidence because the judge is an idiot. You're welcome, Heather. You should, Falcon. Stuff you make me put up with and all my subscribers put up with. The garage might show DNA if he took it there. It's been 12 years. Of course his DNA is going to be in the garage. I think he hit her in the deer and transported it. 12 years, KK says it's in progress. It would still exist. I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know what happens, but to me, it's just weird that 12 years later, they think they're going to find something. I mean, obviously, his DNA is going to be there. I hope if Falcon is ever accused of a crime, that he has more open-minded people looking at the facts of the case than he would give to someone else. I'll agree with that. Thank you, Hawaii. To Smelter with Scott. DNA will degrade outside in the garage. I don't think it's impossible to find DNA. Well, obviously his DNA is going to be in the garage. I mean, that's dumb. He lives there. Do we have any idea what judge will decide if an evidentiary hearing is needed? I don't think she's going to get anywhere with this judge. She needs to recuse the judge and get a new judge. I mean, this judge thinks like Falcon and Tom Hens. I mean, she's all for domestic violence. And even though Avery was not convicted, she personally has convicted him for domestic violence, even though he never did. That's my own personal opinion. Not his THDNA. But I just don't think you're going to find DNA 12 years later. And even if you did, just because it's in Dassey Garage, it's in the same place. It doesn't mean that Stephen didn't put her in Dassey Garage, especially if Brandon was there. To me, it doesn't make sense. But I'm not an attorney. I understand that, Marissa, but I'm saying that even if they find Teresa's DNA in Dassey's garage, Brendan is part of this crime. It's not gonna help Brendan look any better because Brendan lives there. Brendan was there at the time. Doesn't mean Stephen and Brendan didn't bring him over to the garage. I think it's a stupid point. But again, I'm not an attorney. What's his entail? All she has to do is KZ needs to file a motion to recuse the judge. Sometimes it's bitter. I recused the judge once, and the next judge was so mad he threw me in jail. So you got to be sketchy with it. You have to be sure. Current judge is so biased. I totally agree, Karen. Brendan is not KZ's client. No, I understand that, but I'm saying that if it's in the garage and Brendan's already been convicted, I don't know how the hell you're going to turn around and say it's Bobby. Like, unless Bobby had a separate garage. New evidence is a completely different meaning for purposes of post-conviction. Yeah, I don't know anything about that end of it. They're looking for... Thomas, I get that's what they're looking for. My point is, though, that Brendan was convicted of this. It's Brendan's garage, too. So I don't get, so they find it in DNA. One can logically say Brendan and Stephen put her in there. Thank you, Falcon. I don't think it would help Brendan at all. That's what I'm saying. I think it would just make it his garage, not Stephen's, but I think it would help Stephen. I don't know. Casey has done that, denied. I requested a different judge once for bias and got one. We planned a hearing. I honestly think Brendan is screwed. Zellner's arguing there's too little or too much evidence. That is very suggestive, not evidence. But Thomas, she's not done yet. I mean, the woman's got a record for a reason. Both Bobby and Scott alibi. Yeah, the whole Bobby Scott alibi was bullshit. I think the one thing in favor of a new trial is the 2+ witnesses seen the RAV4. I don't follow you on DNA. You don't follow me? What I'm saying is that Brendan was convicted of this crime. Brendan and Stephen supposedly, hypothetically, let's say they did it. They did it together. Bobby and Brendan shared a garage. So even if you find TH's DNA, all that says is that more willingly that they did it. I mean, Something just hit me. Hear me out. I am not saying they're guilty, so just hold it. I wonder, and I don't know why this just struck me like a ton of bricks. I wonder if they are guilty, just if they are, that she's going after Bobby for the exact reason I'm saying that she doesn't need DNA. Like, what if, just what if, she somehow doesn't know how to refute the evidence against Steven, guilty or innocent. She doesn't know how to refute it, for whatever reason. They're not accepting it. So she goes after Bobby Dassey. This is totally like out there, but she goes after Bobby Dassey because if Brendan and Steven killed her, they could have put her in their garage. So if they could have put her in their garage, then if it's Dassey's garage, yeah, it's on the same property. Doesn't matter if it's the same garage. Bobby and Steven both used it. Bobby and Brendan both used it. So what if she's going after that? They find the evidence, and that's great because now it kind of supposedly strays it away from Steven and puts it on the Dasseys, and she just wants to get Steven out. I have to think this through, but it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, as I'm saying that this isn't going to help them, but maybe that's why she's blaming Bobby, because it will help Steven, but it won't help Brendan. So Marissa, I don't know, I didn't follow that through right, but you'll know what I mean. Yeah, hit the thumbs up, guys. What's up, Jamie? Brendan in one of the interview mentioned a blazer. Bobby owned the blazer. That blazer was destroyed. I don't remember, but I know the blazer was crushed. Watch the movie Kiss the Girl, then rewatch his confession. So many similarities. Yeah, but how would he know that? That is where I found odd. DNA alone without being on a crime object is different. You can't fucking convict on DNA from a person just being in a particular place that they frequent often. I agree with you. The only images of bones were in Dassey's burn barrel on Dassey property, if I recall correctly. So the totality of where evidence is found and where DNA is found, plus motive, etc., is good for Steven. Yes, but that's what I'm saying. That maybe Bobby didn't do it. Maybe it was Steven and Brendan. I'm not saying it was, but maybe it was Steven and Brendan. But this is how she can get Steven out, by putting it on the outside party, even though she knows Brendan did it per se. Like, Brendan and Steven could have put her in the garage too. I know what I'm thinking, I just can't express it right. I believe Brendan saw the book in jail, and it was the only thing he could think of. That's very possible. Because I can't see Brendan sitting there reading a book. If there's TH blood in Dassey garage, I agree with that. Maybe there's nothing in common with Brendan's confession and Kiss the Girl's book or movie. He said he just got done reading the book. Brendan told police he watched the movie, can't remember what one. Nothing is going to help BD unless SA gets an evidentiary hearing, and that could possibly help BD. I don't think there are any in its sound recording. Brendan's lawyer was a complete idiot. He was beyond an idiot. Told him to get his story of killing out of a novel. Do you think Zellner thinks maybe Brendan may be involved in some way? Yes, I do. I think Zellner is an extremely smart woman with an incredible track record and a very good mind, or she wouldn't be where she is. With that said, she either has something up her sleeve, or she's going off the beaten path because she knows Brendan's involved, but maybe she knows Steven's not involved. So she's going off the beaten path to prove Steven's innocent, whether Brendan's guilty or not. Something like that. Did they have anything on BD besides his confession? Not a thing, Wolf. Not a thing. Travis, do you think that the withheld report on the cadaver dogs hitting on the quarry It's a Brady violation. Doesn't matter. They're not going after Kratz. Casey tweets were confusing at one point, saying there were two burn barrels, SA and Dassey. Then there was one. I think, honestly, though, I think she threw a lot of shit up at the wall, see what would stick. I understand where you're getting at, Laura. Zellner's job is to help Steven, not Brendan. Exactly. Michelle Kiss the Girls came out, and she's made a lot of major statements that even if she believed she was guilty, he was guilty, she wouldn't walk now. She would look like the biggest idiot. Ma'am 3 coming summer of 2021. Something in my brain keeps going somewhere back to where Brendan said something about seeing a foot in one of the burn barrels. I don't remember that, Rebecca. Michelle, okay, I've never seen it. Thank you. I personally feel there is more chance that BD was involved or knew of the crime than there is that SA was involved in any way. I'll agree with that. For Kratz, the Brady violation doesn't mean going after KK. No, but I'm saying that Zellner made some kind of deal with, what's his name? With Fallon, that Ken Kratz can't get in trouble for any of it. That's why Ken Kratz is like the fucking spokesperson. Sounds like all this Brady violation, nothing ever comes of them. Exactly. It's like perjury. Try to hit someone with perjury in court, they laugh. Unless it's like, a federal thing. He said he saw the toes. If they have a true Brady violation, the computer stuff would change the whole thing. If they can get in front of a court. Just how poorly both sides presented the evidence, agreed. Definitely agree with that. He did say he saw toes. Yeah, but there were so many things implanted in his brain. Travis, do you know about the cadaver report I'm talking about? The dogs also hit on Josh Randon's property immediately. Her biggest piece of evidence is the warranty on the battery because someone changed it. I don't know enough about it. Yeah, but the cadaver dogs, it was thrown out. It was proven like it was nothing. Like it didn't mean anything, if I remember correctly. Do you see KK's tweet that they didn't use a computer evidence because it was a iffy evidence? No. If they have real Brady violation, they have a federal issue. Though they were scent dogs as well, Travis, not cadaver dogs. Yeah, but wasn't it like they were proven to be nothing? Like they couldn't even use them in court or something? I don't remember exactly. I was going to get some Uber Eats delivered to Mama Avery, but it's not in Manitowoc. Aw. Yeah, you could do links in here, Marissa. Travis, they did both dog types. 2 scent, 1 cadaver. I don't remember the whole report either, though. I'm not gonna lie. When Fallon asked Brennan where he hit all the info from, he said, "Yeah, I remember that." C4P, but they also ingrained him over and over and over. This is a 16-year-old special child. This is from a low-life family. This is not an intelligent kid. This is not a normal kid. This is somebody with below, and I'm not saying he was retarded, because he wasn't, but he was below a normal 16-year-old IQ, plus he was 16. Might shoot the delivery guy. They weren't used in courts because the state failed to turn the reports over. I remember that they weren't. Hard to have a Brady on inadmissible evidence. That's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't remember them ever even having the dogs. Like they weren't submitted into court. I remember that. Because like the woman's handler, that's right. Hit the bathroom but in Casso, no mention of it. But I'd be happy to read the link. Poor Mama, Papa Avery. Their golden years so tarnished. I agree. But Miss Carla Chase has raised somewhere around $1,500 for them, supposedly. Don't even get me started on that scam. Computer is hard to use because anyone could use a computer. She can't say, Sheila, I am so in agreement with you on that. I don't care what they say. And believe me, I think Scott and Bobby did it. So, I mean, I'm all for that. But looking for the solid evidence in it, they can say maybe, but doesn't mean Bobby didn't have a friend over. Doesn't mean Scott wasn't there. I mean, you don't know. Correct answer was that he got it from investigators, media, family, and living on the property, but he couldn't think of saying it or afraid to say it too. Bobby said in the Castro interview the PC wasn't even in his room. Video showed that it clearly was. Unfortunately, Femgen didn't have Brendan explain that on redirect. Brendan didn't even know how to spell exactly. And I always forget, what was that word he didn't know what it was? I always forget. Not indefensible, inconsistent. 16 years old, you don't know what inconsistent means, and neither does your mom. I would say you're under low IQ. Hey, Ethel. Computer in terms of the Brady is completely different. That's why it's a Brady violation. The dogs, yeah, but the dogs weren't admissible in court, Greg. I remember it was something to do with the handler. Like it wasn't, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something about the handler. Sheila, my point is child porn is always important evidence. I agree with that. Hey, Phoebe. I totally agree with that. I don't know why. Seriously, C4P? No shit. I posted in my group that they was supposedly raised like $1,500 for Mama and Papa Avery. Well, we'll see. See, Sweezy, I am totally with you on that. I don't understand why all of them aren't arrested on that child porn. Child porn's illegal, period. Why is nobody being arrested? If you listen to Steven talking to Barb, he said Barb and some woman was on the computer. Sheila, you're talking about in their fight? See, the thing is about their fight, though, the dog, yeah, but there was some, I don't remember exactly, but it was something like the dogs weren't, it wasn't admissible in court. It shouldn't have ever been allowed, but it was something with the handler. I don't remember what it was. Just the report wasn't turned over to defense. I may be wrong. It was something. I want to fly Mom and Papa Avery to Hawaii here and give them a vacation. I remember. Oh, you can fly me to Hawaii. I'll even let them stay at my place. I'll go to a friend's house. That's really nice. I mean, I am sure you can contact Zellner and set that up. I mean, honestly, I'm sure you could. I would do it through Zellner, though. Zellner's, and set it up through her. There was no child porn on the PC, just searches for it. Looks like the state scrubbed it. See, I wondered that, too. Why everyone is so, okay with the police going through it in 2017. Who's to say they didn't erase a bunch of stuff? Because they couldn't establish specifically who was pulling up the porn. That's why I said just erase everybody. I mean, arrest everybody. Last I seen, they were closer to $1,900 today, so $1,900. How much do you want to bet? Not a dollar of it. Maybe Mom and Pop will probably get $500. Guarantee Carl's going to scam the rest, but that's neither here nor there. All right, I'm going to Hawaii. Woohoo! Greg, I need to go back and read what you said. Give me a minute. Whoop. I could have sworn I read the hundreds of images were found on the PC. They were found on the PC. I love how both of them say, yeah, Mom and Pop would love to go to Hawaii. In the USA, arrest everyone. I'm just saying, whoever lived in the house, just figure it out. I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is, how is she going to get Avery off and use the porn as being able to submit it? But at the same time, they can't arrest anybody because they don't know whose computer it is. I don't see how the two go together. And there were boxes and boxes delivered to Carla's today. Nice. Why didn't they just go to Mom's house? Oh, I know why. Well, Fett, because Carla is going to give them all to her and say that they're from her and her family Christmas gifts, guaranteed. Um, couldn't establish who searched, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if they can't establish who searched it, then how is Zellner gonna get somebody arrested for it, or get somebody out of jail pointing to somebody else if they can't say who really did it? I guess that's where I'm confused. We should have required probable cause here before we arrest. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the probable cause is Bobby. But how is she gonna get Steven out of jail if she can't even get Bobby arrested for child porn? Like, if you can't say who did it, then you can't say Steven didn't go over there and do it. My brain goes a lot faster, and sometimes I have a very hard time explaining what I'm thinking, but I know what I mean. It just doesn't always come out right. Tons of porn images, though they're not illegal. You're right, not illegal. Porn is another burger unless it can be proven it was be used to make Bobby give false testimony. I believe BD's men's state IQ was around 8 or 9. I don't know how he was charged. I don't know how he was charged as an adult either. She had it all sent to her house. Exactly, Wolfette. I didn't know that, though. Thank you for that info. Read the whole comment. BOD was the only one home searching at that time, but that doesn't mean he didn't have a friend over. It could have been Mike O as well. I don't know why Zellner completely eliminates Mike O, unless he's up her sleeve and she doesn't want to scare him. Searching for child porn isn't illegal? What do you mean possess it? If it's embedded in your computer, doesn't that make it illegal? If they are suspects, can't they be questioned again? Of course they can. Searching for it is illegal. Yeah, isn't searching for child porn illegal? I thought so too. Snuff porn illegal. He had images of dead bodies, didn't he? Yeah, but not snuff porn is a different, whole nother ballgame. Having I've seen dead bodies. I've looked up dead bodies. There's sites that do that. Wisconsin, that 10-year-old 10 years, they never learn. Just send gifts right to that's what I said, Hawaii. Just, if you want to send her gifts, send it right to the house. You don't have to worry about caller. It's not stuff porn, just dead. That's what I said, like faces of death stuff. I look at that stuff too. Maybe she's looking at him, not... I'm telling you, somehow I think Mike O is up her sleeve. I have no idea why I think this, I just do. Simulate dead bodies. Searching for his no illegal, downloading it is. Okay, I didn't know that. But I don't look for child porn. There's no picture of Bobby using it. They have to have, like, solid proof. See, Travis, what Sheila's saying is exactly what I was saying an hour ago. Solid proof, to me, is kind of reasonable deduction. He was home. He was probably the only one home out of the family members, because everyone else was away. That's a good indication he's probably guilty, but could be somebody else. So unless they could prove his best friends were nowhere near the house, then that's solid proof. I had faced of death. That's what I'm saying. I look at that stuff. Ericos, do you know if the report from the cadaver dogs were DNA? Yeah, Ericos, I remember somewhere that the cadaver dogs from the woman's handler, they were inadmissible, correct? Weren't the bones not even hard? We don't know that yet, Lucy. When I say snuff porn because of dead bodies, I mean the intent behind it. Isn't porn when you are looking for it an autopsy or educational way? I don't know. I've looked up some crazy ass shit. Nothing to do with porn, but I've looked up some crazy ass shit. Google how to hide a dead body, how to kill someone and get away with it. I've done that. um, proof friend. No, no, no. I'm saying that if she can prove that he was really the only one there, then that's that's kind of logical deduction that okay, it was probably him. But you still have the other factor, what if his friends were there? Now, that doesn't mean that that's reasonable doubt. It's because logically, if you look at the whole situation, yes, it was him. I'm just saying that it's not definitive proof just because she was there. Just because he was the only one there. Carla has an amazing wish list, so I'm sure she does. Would Brendan have even been able to use a computer? Well, he played at PlayStation. Um, Snuff porn, creating it is illegal. Yeah, I would say creating is pretty illegal. Only person home is Bobby. Everyone is at work or school. Logically, Millaby, I agree with you. Look, don't mistake me. I have said it was Bobby and Scott longer than anybody has and stuck with it. Besides Bernard Phillips, who also agrees with me from day one, Bobby and Scott did this. So don't mistake what I'm saying. I didn't need Zellner to tell me Bobby and Scott did it. I've been saying it for 2 years. Carla profiting off her family being in prison is terrible. I could go on and on about Carla profiting. Remember what computers were like back then? We didn't have Google, and connecting to the net was the same. 2005, Google was around. Eric, was there child porn on computer, or do we know? I don't remember. As far as I could tell, no images of child porn were found on the computer. Those searches were made on Sunday evening when the family and possible friends were there. No, it wasn't. It was a lot of the searches were made during the day. I feel like he was searching and looking for things with a friend present or I'm telling you, Mike O was involved in this somehow. I don't know how. But I don't know why he's not anywhere to be found unless the guy's dead. I mean, does anyone know if Mike O is dead? Because it's the only thing I can think of. Who propositioning, Mike O or Bobby? It isn't illegal to search for it. AOL free trials were everywhere. I stand correct on Google. Yeah, because I was a broker back then. In 1997, Google, Yahoo, they all came out. I know Yahoo did. I don't remember Google exact. Someone needs to get the hard drive and re-examine it. Why do you believe that both of them did it and not just one? Brooke, from December 15th or the January 1st of 2016, I have maintained Scott and Bobby did it due to so many different factors. One of the factors being they both lied for each other. Second factor is the route they took. I have a video on it from way back when. I don't remember exact now, but it was the way they took. They wouldn't have made it or they wouldn't have passed each other at that time. The fact that Scott said that he didn't know who Brendan was. He didn't know Brendan's name, but Bobby was his best friend. There were just too many inconsistencies. And I said, you know what? They are the ones that killed him, not Stephen and Brendan. And I've stuck with that. Carla's on the edge of fraud. Carla's been on the edge of fraud. It's not on the edge. She is fraud. She doesn't gift everything to Mama. Look at the recent homeless vet scam. What do you think about the family's actions of Ryan Hilligus? I think the family, I mean, someone got really mad at me on a video for this, but I'll be honest, the family's a lowlifes. I mean, they are. What do I think of Ryan Hilligus? I think he helped plant the evidence. I don't think he's guilty. I don't think he killed her, and I don't think Stephen and Brendan killed her. I'm say Scott and Bobby killed her. I don't think Scott killed her. I think Scott helped the cleanup. I always said that Bobby did it. After doing some more investigating, I truly believe that Mike O is involved with Bobby, or maybe Mike O killed her and Bobby helped clean up the evidence, something. But Zellner either has Mike O up her sleeve, he's dead, or she's keeping him quiet for the simple fact that she's going to go after him. And she's using Bobby and Scott as a cover for going after Mike. Just an assumption. Um, who went after the girl, the underage girl, for photos? Bobby, Mike, or Scott? Like, who did it? Mike O was Bobby's best friend. There were pictures on Bobby's Facebook that it was him and Mike O constantly together from like 2005 and right around the time of Halbach's death. And Mike O is the one that told, I forgot his last name, but Mike was the one that told that told the cops that Steven said, do you know how to hide a body? When the truth is, Mike is the one that actually said that to Steven. That's why I think Mike's involved, and nobody has said a word about Mike. By sometime, probably Monday or Tuesday video, I will have some solid proof to know if he's dead or if nothing's been said, but I really, truly think he's involved in this. The computer was in Bobby's room. That's what I'm saying, Karen. Something about Mike O, she's either keeping him a secret for a reason because she doesn't want to scare him, because he has not been in anything. I mean, I still have best friends from 1988. I still have best friends from 1984. I can't imagine that as close as they were, all of a sudden he disappeared. So, like I said, he's either dead or Zellner's got something up her sleeve with him. He testified against Avery to get the child porn charges dropped. Bye, Thomas. Have a good night. Ben, yes, but there isn't any child porn on it, only young girls. Yeah, but when you say young girls, under 18 is still child porn. Under 16 is still child porn, isn't it? Brooke, are you saying Mike and Bobby testified against Avery to get the child porn charges dropped? Am I piecing that together right? And I agree with you. Bobby definitely testified against Avery. Mike probably did too, but I'm telling you, I just think Mike's involved, unless he's dead. Brendan even says Bobby went goose hunting in his Civets interview. I have hunted birds with a .22 long rifle. I can't see a plausible scenario where Carla would snow the entire. Oh, come on, Ericos. Carla's been snowing that family for years. They all have. I mean, come on. I'm not talking about Murch. I think BOD killed her when she rejected him. He hit her with a camera, raped her while she was unconscious. She came to and he strangled and she scratched his back. Possible. Picture of Brooke Shields at 14 is not child porn. It is if she's naked. He was specifically looking for 13-year-olds in some searches. Dead ones, live ones, naked ones. That's child porn. Ericos, I don't want to get into this. All I'm going to say, I know you always protect the family. I'll respect that. I'm just telling you, there is absolutely no reason any of this has to go through Carla. Like Hawaii said, just send gifts to Mama Avery's house. This doesn't need to go through Carla. Carla, I hear, is taking a big trip to the Bahamas. Sounds fishy. But I don't want to get into Carla. I don't want to get into scam. They've been scamming people forever. So is Barb and Scott. They won't even show the money that's in the GoFundMes. Don't even get me started. They're all fucking scammers. Sheila, Carla is Stephen Avery's niece. She was naked, Brooke at 14. Okie dokie. Brendan's release money. Money's not in there. That's why she won't show it to anybody, which legally she has to, but I'm not getting started. Are the bones still available for testing? Ben, I'm not sure. I know Zellner hasn't had them yet for testing. Travis, you had dead wrong. I know people have been busted for child porn where it was a naked child innocently running around the house. Is she the one who testified? Who? Carla? She's the raggedy looking one with the long hair. She went into Making a Murderer 2. She was one time sitting, she wasn't in there much, but she was sitting across the street from Mama Avery. She looks like a biker, real skinny. That's Carla. Her car died. He put his battery in her car to get it off the crime scene. Ditch car after he took out his battery, then got to Mike. Yeah, but I thought the battery came from police or something. In Canada, a back child could be improper photography. Someone needs to hook MAMPA up with the PayPal account and card, then donations go directly to them. Exactly, Ziggy. That's my point. You can get arrested for taking pictures of your child in the bathtub. Paul, you're a very East Coast kind of lady. Tell it like it is, no frills. Paula, what, who's Paula? Um, gotcha. I was thinking a young girl testified against it. No, no, no. Oh, no, you're thinking Kayla. That's Kayla. Kayla is Carla's niece, I believe. Right, guys? Cousin or niece? I'm really interested in Mike O, but how do we know he said that to Steven? Steven said it, Gilbert. Steven said, originally the story was Steven said it to Mike O, but last year, I believe it was last year, Zellner came out with, or is in one of the motions. I don't remember exactly where it came from, but Steven changed that and said, no, Mike's the one that said it to me. I didn't say it to Mike. And it may have even been in one of Zellner's motions. Caller testified that Brennan was acting weird at the time of the murder, then recanted, yes. The one that was all over the media. Battery in the RAV4 when found on Avery's was not connected. I didn't think so either, Millby. Snuff film is not illegal to watch. It should be. You're actually witnessing a murder. That deep web sickos. I think they all raped her. East Coast rule. I agree, Rebecca. East Coast rules. It happened in Massachusetts. I'm mixing them up too then. Carla's new pic. She's holding a Louis Vuitton handbag. I think Bobby and maybe Scott killed her, and then Teresa's boyfriend helped the cops move the car. Absolutely. I think the car was already moved, Tom. I think Ryan found the car earlier. I don't believe that that the cops moved it originally. I think Ryan found it or something and moved it originally. Battery did come from cop car. TikTok Talk posted the interesting pic today of all the Crown Vics parked at the. Yeah, but not all Crown Vics have to do with a cop. I mean, you can. Other people used to be able to buy Crown Victorias. Yeah, good one, Travis. Marissa, did your friend have a public defender? Carl, if you want, believe me, Carl's not watching. Get it trusty for the GoFundMe. No, because then she can't spend some. Though if you do want to talk about media cases, there was a YouTuber busted for child porn because he's asked for videos of girls dancing for him. No penetration. Marissa, did your friend have a public defender? The one that got caught? By the way, you're beautiful. Subscribe. Thanks, Lucy. Louis Vuitton does not sue Carla. I don't think so either. Carla's the first ugly one. The cop that called in the plates called the boyfriend, and they moved the car together. I think Ryan had already found the car by that point. Just a hunch. If Scott knew he would or was involved, would he have put her in the smelter immediately? I think Bobby told Scott on the 4th and helped him get rid of her. And the Friday Sicky letter. The first Kardashian sex tape was she was under 18. They were able to block it. Second video, no such luck. Battery gonna prove who moved the car, not who killed her. I agree, Millby. Didn't have a bunch of iPhones in MAM2. It was a salvage yard, like 4,000 cars. It had to be at least. Well, I totally agree, Marissa. I said that too. Just saying the Crown Vic is mostly known for a cop car, but it's also sold. Like, what kind of car did Mike O have? What kind of car did Josh Randon have? Carla should buy a new face. Sorry, I can't stand her. You should hang out with my friend John. He hates her. Crown Vic's also known as Ellie. I know that they were, but I mean, you can also buy one that's not an Ellie, and I know it normally is, but that doesn't mean it necessarily is. Maybe Mike O had one. Maybe one of Mike O's friends had one, or maybe there was one on the lot of the Avery yard. I mean, I personally don't connect. That's the kind of evidence that to me I blow off. Like, could it be a cop's? Yeah, but a lot of people drive Crown Victorias, too. It doesn't mean that's part of the cop setup. I mean, to me, it's a dumb setup. It could easily be something came from the Avery yard, or it could be that, somebody else had it. Could it came from the zippers? Battery going to depend on who comes back to. That's true. Travis's point, it really depends on who it traces back to. Enough with the batteries. Thanks, Tard. I mean, I just don't think, and again, she's got to have something up her sleeve. I have faith in her. And maybe she's just going after what she has in front of her, like what she can go after, like she can't get the car and stuff. I don't feel like she's going after anything that's gonna definitively prove Steven innocent. It may point the direction a little, but I don't think it's proving anything definitively. Just my feeling. I have a girlfriend who killed 2 of her children because of postpartum psychosis. Damn, Marissa, you got some rough friends. She had public defender, was convicted of a lesser charge of infanticide. She got 5 years time served. That was a good public defender. Since Bobby had taken back his battery, there was no battery in the car. If the cops moved it, the cops put their battery to move it. Someone please show me a case where a parent was convicted of possessing a photo of their child naked. A question that I have about the battery is simply the size difference. The Crown Vic battery would be too large to sit in the battery mount of the RAV4. It would to just balance on top. Yeah, but what happened to her battery? Public pretender. I totally agree, Hawaii. I'm trying to look up dimensions of both batteries and battery mounts. Good luck with that one. That's what I'm saying. Don't be picking on Marissa. Because really, the 2 situations that Marissa had said, the 2 situations though, neither one of them are like bad situations. Like, they're circumstantial situations. Friends just happen to be, it just happens. I'm surprised she got that lease with a homicide. I mean, with the public defender. I have lots of friends who are in jails. Most people I know are people who were prisoners. Prison outreach programs are so interesting. Psychology is what attracts me. Okay. Because there isn't anything definitive occur in science. You have to have hearing to catch a lie. Okay. Battery just needs starter far. Alternator powers. Hello from Scotland. Hello, Paul. 4:40 a.m. Brian Mueller Carr. I live in the hood. Grew up with these folks. What does Barb do for a living? She's like, I want to say like a factory worker. Iracose, what does Barb do? She like works at a factory or something, right? Hawaii is not a very Carla-friendly person. I just say the case is solid on paper, so you have to get them crossed up in testimony. Marissa should write a book. It is possible that Bobby and Scott could have used Teresa as game in hunting. They both love to hunt, so I believe they used her as a hunting human being. Oh, I don't agree with that, Ben. I think Bobby's just I don't know. I'm telling you, I just think Mike and Bobby did this together and Scott helped cover it up. If there were keys so TH couldn't leave, I'm guessing the battery and keys are together. But like, what I'm don't understand, did they say why her battery was gone? Like, who's gonna steal a fucking battery and why? There's just no logic in it. I don't get it. Changing the battery on the side of the road is easier and not that noticeable than if you try jumping it, just saying. The found key issue is so evident that it was planted. Ridiculous county. Thought Barb... No, Barb doesn't work at a restaurant. She scams, apparently. Oh, that's besides the point. But no, she works like a factory or something, right? Yeah, she's some kind of factory worker. And Scott is no longer working, or he's back at work now, but when last year, middle of last year, he had back surgery or something, and he stopped working. Karen, you have no clue how many people have told me that. I started my need to figure out crime after escaping forcible confinement and DV 5 years. That's not good. I remember reading that the factory wouldn't let Barb off work when they thought Brendan was going to be released. Yes. But I don't think she could afford it either because Scott's not working. I mean, like I said, I don't know if he went back now. Was Linclaw planning evidence in another case right now? I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I thought I heard you say that in a past video. That Link was... No, I never said that. I don't believe I said that. I don't remember it if I did, but if I did, then there was evidence for it, but I don't believe so. Are Barb and Scott still together? Yes. Just look at the order in which they found the evidence car key, the bullet bones. I agree. That house is very nice, and they bought it like 10 days after he testified. And magically, his trailer disappeared. Magically, his trailer disappeared 10 days or like 2 weeks or something after she died or something like that. You can set a large battery on top of an engine area or as far away as cables reach. Connect jumper, cables to car jumper. But alternator may have failed. You might steal a battery if you knew it had been tampered with and wanted to hide it. Don't know if this is possible, but maybe she broke down from a bad battery the killer tampered with. See, all right, Karen, I'm thinking, when I'm reading it, I'm kind of thinking the opposite. My head is telling me that someone killed her on the side of the road. She maybe her car died. She pulled over on the side of the road. Somebody pulled over, it doesn't matter who it is, and killed her. And then somebody else took her battery, maybe saw her car on the side of the road and just scammed her battery and took off. Like, whoever took her battery may not have anything to do with this, but they may have taken the battery and then they couldn't drive it onto Avery's property without a battery being attached or having a battery because they couldn't have got it there. So the cops implemented a battery to get the car to there. But then that doesn't explain why the battery would be disconnected. Maybe her car died and she called Ryan. That's how it happened. Great point, Millaby. That going on that same theory. She pulled over on the side of the road. She called Ryan, and Ryan was on his way to go get her, and then she was murdered, and that's how he found the car and everything else. Very good possibility. The house was as bought from Regat's girlfriend at the time. Well, that has been posted. I kind of debunked that back in 2016 because it's not a big town. Everybody's connected. If there are so many relatives upon relatives of like everybody's there, very hard to determine. Very hard to determine what's going on there. If the RAV4 was sitting at the gravel pit and the flashers going, it could have run down the battery. True. I just sent a Twitter to Carla asking to show proof the account goes directly to Mama. Words aren't enough. It's not going directly to Mama because she had said in a something in a tweet or something that she was giving it to Mama for Christmas. Well, how is it going to her if you're giving it to her for Christmas? That's when I said another scam blown. You would like a weather map next, and a report of witness saying he saw the RAV4, which way it was facing on the road. Anyone know? No. Try taking the red jacket. I can't. It's white. It makes it worse. Oh, you want a weather map? Now I get it. Oh, you want a weather map? I'll get you a weather map. What state? Where would you like it to be, Travis? Where do you want the weather? You just wanted like a news report, weather report? News. Hang on, guys. Boop. Give me 1 second. There you go. Dance naked on the bar. Where are you located? Me? Now? Or right now I'm in Alabama. But I was born and raised in New York. Only the alternator works. Someone at Avery could have also tampered with the battery while she was doing her job, but then could have had Bobby called, having just left an Avery salvage yard, knowing. Yeah, but according to Steven, you know why that theory doesn't work? Because according to Steven, she never basically left her car for more than 5 minutes. She would have seen somebody tamper with the battery. So that's why that theory doesn't work, Marissa. Snowstorm, more so. I heard, Ethel. My family's in New York. Maybe too much evidence on original battery, so they changed it. It just doesn't make sense. Teresa calls Ryan after battery dies. Ryan reads her journal, sees that she just left the Avery, and jealous wonders, goes, yeah, no, I don't think that's it. I mean, it's a theory. I just don't think that's it. Ryan wouldn't abandon the car near Scott's house. Bobby would. That's true, too. Erase the timeline. What timeline? No, Brian, I get what you're saying, but I don't think that it went like that. I don't think that Ryan really cared about Stephen Avery, is basically what I'm saying. Who would leave a battery traceable to them in a car they would want found? Exactly. Something's just not right with that theory. What if TH did the gotta pee thing, pulled over ST and BOD, saw opportunities, TH was clearing voicemail messages while squatting, battery died, threw body and back. That's an elaborate story. Where was she peeing? In the woods? ST and BOD saw opportunity. Yeah, I don't think it was that. Because ST and BOD weren't, they weren't together. And Greg, I don't think people would realize a battery is traceable. Didn't Teresa go to another house after Avery? She was the cop. All right, let me explain this. The cop on November 4th told Brendan that Avery was not her last appointment, but she never actually made it to another appointment. If they signed up for warranty, they would. Japan is thinking. A jealous, immature ex-boyfriend is skeptical of every man. Yeah, I understand that, but I don't know. I don't think that's it. I still don't see how a battery is traceable. Yeah, I don't get how a battery is traceable either. Easy to just jumpstart a battery. But she would have seen if somebody tampered with it. Did anyone see the RAV4 just chilling on the side? A lot of people, Gilbert, said that they did. If Bobby and Mike did it, one of them could drive her car to hide it. The whole thing could be over quick and be. I totally agree. Warranty is how the battery was traced. Wait, what does my theory? Not your theory. The other one. I was looking at your post on Facebook. Huh? I haven't posted anything on Facebook. I didn't say your theory sucked. I said Brian's theory sucked. That I didn't agree with it. But I'm not saying I'm right, but how much money is it estimated Stephen Avery would get acquitted again? Thank you, Sage. Go to bed. It's 11 o'clock. I bought new tires under warranty, but I didn't sign up for the warranty. I still don't know how they would trace a battery either, but I mean, obviously there's ways. ST and BOD alibi was they passed each other. Yes, they were with each other in a sense. So probably something like a AAA battery. Steven said TH never left her car. Yeah, okay. That's what I'm saying. Steven had said that I mean, it wouldn't be where Bobby could tamper with it. I like Brian's theory, but think that's just how Ryan got the day planner. Sorry, it's been discussed before, but first, who all lives on that computer? Who has criminal history, not accusations, but convicted? None of them, I don't think, except Scott. Scott's the only one that had criminal history, and it all stopped in 2005. All of a sudden, his entire record disappeared. Not disappeared, but he never got in trouble again. RAV4 was supposedly seen in a cut by 2 witnesses. Yeah, a couple of people said it. I didn't know where she parked versus where the caravan was. An old Facebook post of yours. LOL, still yours. Your clothes blend in with the green screen. Hi, Sage, go to bed. All-nighter babies. My daughter. She's at a friend's house. But it proves Rav left property. Trace via the barcode. Yeah, but you can't, even barcode, you can't say who bought it. I don't know. Maybe you could. Elaborate because I got my thinking cap on. Video showing water bottle timeline never shows her stopping. I have a wife and 2 girls, and driving long distance means P stops. I'm guessing if AAA put the battery in, came from a dealer. Makes me think of the answer why Avery would have the key. Compound Chuck. If that witness is considered credible. C4P, that's what I'm thinking. And didn't Scott assault his own mom? Yes. I don't know if his own mom is his ex-girlfriend or ex-wife or something. Not a lot of family violence at all. Scott had family violence. I don't think Pete ever did, and the kids were all young. A witness saw a white Jeep and a RAV4 pass by, and then I think an hour later he saw only the white Jeep pass on the way out. And no, they used the headlights to see where to bury her body. Falcon, it showed up only after it was planted. If you buy battery from dealer or repair shop, can be traced. It could part stores to have put battery in inventory logs. Amber showed up after the search of that room. Here, when you buy the battery, the place is supposed to write down your warranty expiration on a sticker on the battery and take some info for that. Most people just don't care. Okay, so I guess what I'm not totally understanding is, wouldn't Avery, like, all right, going back to assumption that Avery's guilty or Brendan's guilty, they're on a lot with 3,000 cars. I'm sure many of them have good batteries. So if you take out the battery from one of those cars and put it on the RAV4 when they switched it out, like if they took out a battery from another car, who's to say that that's not, who's to say that that's not how that battery got in there? It's going to trace back to completely unknown somebody. You kind of know what I'm saying? Like, just because it was found with the battery doesn't mean that they didn't put in a good battery or whoever moved it put in a good battery to a car, and then remove that battery when they got there and replaced it with one from the lot. I buy the soda, Barb buys the fries, Pete Dassey's hilarious. Avery need the key to move the car. It's not true. The owner said if there was traceable DNA, it would be on the hood stick and other areas associated with opening. That's what I said. Could that still be tested? She doesn't have the car. She can't get, they're not giving her the car to look at, Brooke. That's part of the problem. Key was not found after the first search. Yeah, 100 FBI agents, nobody could find the key. You'd be surprised how far that battery be traced. They will know who the manufacturer sold it to, dealer, auto parts store, OEM, or GM. But from there, it'll depend on how it was purchased. But Travis, what I'm saying is, who's to say, all right, let me give you the scenario, it'll make it easier. If I'm a killer, if I'm trying to set somebody up, and let's say this car is found on the side of the road and has no battery, I'm going to make sure that I put a working battery in it because I'm a cop or I'm somebody that knows that you can trace a battery. So I'm going to put a battery in it because I'm a smart planter. Then I'm going to drive to where I need to go. Then once I get there, then I'm going to remove the battery and put in a battery from one of the cars on the lot. That's a smart planner. Who's to say they didn't do something like that? Tiffy goes salvage yard to buy a battery. They removed the barcode. Our interstate battery sold at Walmart. I believe so, Greg. Not stateside, but both of those are so fucked, causing all this confusion. Balcony didn't move the RAV4. If it comes back to a car on the lot, then you are right. I mean, but think about it. If you're going to be a smart planner, but Iroquois, in all reality, they were smart. Two guys are sitting in jail, and they can't seem to get out. So they were smart. Like I've said it before, Kratz is not an idiot. He may be Mickey Mouse, but he's not an idiot. I mean, he doesn't have much common sense, but he's not dumb. None of them are dumb. Ellie would just say the salvage yard used to scrap old cop cars, so that's how they got the battery. I'm just saying something in my gut tells me, like, if I was going to plan something, that's how I would plan it. I'm not going to do something stupid like, oh, let me leave the same battery that moved it in. That's dumb. If I'm going to plan something, I'm going to do it right. And I'm going to lock in so if you want to trace a battery, because a cop or a DA is going to know that you're going to trace a battery. So you put in, grab one off the lot and just stick it in there because it wasn't attached because they didn't have tools. They couldn't reattach the battery because they didn't have enough time and they didn't have tools and they weren't going to sit there and do it. So they just popped out a battery and dropped it in. But you don't think of everything, and that is what Casey is hoping, or a breakdown of a witness of an inventory. And I hope you're right. I'm just saying, if I was going to plan something, that's how I would plan it. Marissa, I believe Zellner meant the RAV4 battery was the one on warranty still, and that TH would have had it replaced properly as a result. Yeah, but not if she, so you're saying Zellner meant that the RAV battery was Teresa's? Now I'm totally confused. I don't follow most of Zellner's. Ask Zellner. I think they're dumb. But I don't know what you mean by that. I agree, Millby. Colburn is definitely involved. But Travis, assuming, this is just assumption, but assuming that the cops are the ones that set it up, forget Kratz, just let's say Colburn set it up or one of the cops set it up, they are going to think of everything because they're cops. They do this every day. Bobby may not think of everything, but I think the cops would. They didn't think the case would be scrutinized by millions of people years later. That's very true. Do you think the last call she called was Bobby, but he gave her a different name so she wouldn't know it? I couldn't even guess, Sheila. I wouldn't even try to guess something like that. I know that her brother tried to call her, or her brother spoke to her, um, at 2 or 2:30. That was in a um, whatchamacallit, a newspaper article back in, I don't know, 2009, yeah, 2005. I have it somewhere on my computer. I'll have to find it. But there was a, if you look up, all the articles from them were gone. Like the newspapers removed all the articles, but you could still find a few far and few between. And one of them said that, like, the brother spoke to her at like 2:30 or something. It was very weird. Um, Now I just thought of something though. Someone was saying, or people are saying, that Teresa may have gone back to Avery property. Maybe when she went back to Avery property, it was about her battery. Just saying, just a thought. She doesn't get an entry here, and this is all academic. For those that just like to talk about the true crime stories, it will be one of the greatest unsolved mysteries that will be discovered forever. I think Joan Benet Ramsey takes that title, Travis. Means people don't matter, only jury, court, and judges. Ken Kratz probably thought the battery was a pound cake and ate it. Does your phone only ping when you're using it? No, your phone, it depends if you have data or not. Data pings. You find it hard to believe that the Canon was kept in the back of the RAV4. No, I find it hard to believe that they pulled out the memory card and left it while they burned the battery. I mean, the camera. That made no sense. For those thinking miscarriage was for BDNSA, you just keep pounding away, exhaust all appeals, go political, and then pardon clemency. They've already tried that. It didn't get anywhere. BOD was trying to get TH into the back. Travis, do you believe they're innocent or guilty? No one's charged in JBR, I know. But this was exactly what happened in WM3. But do you believe that Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey are innocent or guilty? Michelle says millions of people do. Travis, you are depressing me. Ryan and Mike looked. Appeals are not exhausted. Travis, answer me. You think they're guilty or innocent? Ryan and Mike look very suspicious. I will never ever say is not the issue. I'm just curious on a personal note. I think you think they're guilty. The more I listen to all of these theories, the more I think some people are currently smoking crack. Innocent, they're framed here. The issue whether they absolutely did not receive fair trials. That's not even a question. Innocent here, framed all the way. I agree. I believe they're innocent. In my heart of hearts, I totally believe they're innocent. But I have said it over and over and over and over, is that they've not received a fair trial. And you don't really know either way until you get a fair trial. Because Catherine said Bobby and Teresa's phone pings in the same place. Was the call she didn't take Bobby? I don't know. I mean, I think Travis thinks they did it. I think so too. But there's nobody can deny they got a fair trial. I mean, look at Kratz's press conference. That right there eliminated anything for a fair trial. That's not even a question to me. Then you look deeper. That question's already been answered with that press conference. No, they didn't get a fair trial. I don't think there's a person that denies that. Innocent or not guilty by virtue of reasonable doubt. I think Falcon is Tom Fallon and Travis is Norm Gay. But I get what he's saying from a lawyer perspective, but I have always maintained that I don't care at this point if they did it or not. They still deserve a fair trial, and they deserve to be heard the right way, and they deserve a jury that is not tainted. I mean, there's a lot of things that went wrong that they deserve to be out. CP4 is C3PO. My opinion is the probabilities are that Stephen is framed and innocent. With Brendan, I don't have a doubt. Travis, Laura stalked him. I did stalk him. I think even if they're up to their neck, well, someone puts Esquire next to their name. I want to see if they're legit. So, I mean, I found a Travis Williams, Esquire, and it seems to be only one that I could find. They made the question whether they did it. People need to vote. I totally agree. Travis, I completely agree with you, and I've said that from day one. And people like Falcon, and I have fought because they say, well, how could you care if he's guilty? If you think he's guilty, then why shouldn't he be in prison for life? Because that's not the issue. I don't know if he did it or not. I wasn't there, but the evidence doesn't point to it, which means he should not be in jail. Period. If you can violate their rights, they can violate yours. Absolutely. 100% agree. Um, but that I've said that from day one. I fight the injustice. The injustice that took place after that press conference, everything went out the window. Everything. Rights, what's right, everything. Just right out the window. That press conference was insane. And how it didn't just get eliminated from that, I have no idea. How people just sat around and allowed it, I have no idea. And this happens all the time in every court in the country. Those cases just don't get publicity. But not to the point that you have a press conference like that. So are you conflicted on the process or the evidence of this case? Me or Travis, Brian? I have always made it. You watch my old videos, I'll say the same thing. In my heart of hearts, I believe they're innocent. But I'm not fighting for their innocence. I fight for the injustice that took place. That's why I don't know every single detail of the case, because I don't care if they're guilty or innocent. They still didn't get a fair trial. Everything that I wanted to see about what, after this press conference or how things went down, they deserve. The injustice that took place is mind-blowing, and the injustice that took place should never have happened. That to me is what I've been fighting for, is the injustice, and I've said this in 100 videos. I'm not one for conspiracy theories. This is why I like your channel and this channel. Thanks, Travis. It can't be Teresa. They changed it and may have DNA on it. See, I don't see how you can simply dismiss the evidence, because I'm going to say it one last time. Connect the dots. Individually, it doesn't mean just because you have individual pieces, if you can't piece them all together to tell a story, then you have nothing. You have to be able to piece it together to tell a story. If 1, 3, 5, and 7 are random numbers and there's no clock to put them on, then 1, 3, 5, and 7 are just 1, 3, 5, and 7. But if you have a clock to put them on, now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now it has an order because now it goes on to a clock. Without that clock, it's just random numbers. I don't know if that was a good example, but it's the first thing I thought of. All the presses I've watched in the past year alone said we have laid these charges against these people at this time. It will not. That's exactly right. I need 100% ironclad proof that it was planted. Falcon, have you ever planted flowers on a piano? That was good, Craig. Look who was around when the evidence was found and by who and how are they all connected? I wouldn't even say by who, except for the key. I mean, the key is a big one. But, I mean, even Kratz said, well, what if the key was planted? But that really falls back to how are they going to connect, and not how are they going to connect. How are you going to convict them when you don't have solid proof to convict them on? So you plant solid proof, but that doesn't mean you don't believe that they didn't actually do the crime. But you just kind of put the nail in the coffin that they go to jail for that crime, even though you can't really prove it. So now you created evidence to prove it. You are disappearing sometime. All right. And we need 100% ironclad proof that it was not planted and that the right people are in jail. We do not know that found. That is correct. They had a $36 million motive. Bobby and Scott prints were found on the plates. I don't think anyone knows that information, Michelle. What is a big twist in this case is that there is no question BD didn't get a fair trial. He won in district court, won with 3-judge panel, then it turned political. Flowers on a piano, 2 lips, and doesn't connect the dots. Kratz has such a punishable face. I'll agree with that. 16-year-old slow kid was bullied into a confession. They felt so bad they offer him, 10 years? I agree. If bring a theory of planning evidence, you do so at your peril, Norm Gann. We should be able to trust in the fairness of the justice system, but occasionally it fails, and in this case it failed. I agree, Karen. I'm with you on that. 100% with you on that. Maybe they all did it. 15 years. Well, it kind of goes back to abused woman kills her wife. Speaking of, look at the case with what the hell's her name? Gypsy and Dee Dee. You guys familiar with that case? Nick, the one that actually shot, just went on trial. How many of you guys know that case? Because that girl pleaded guilty, took a 10-year plea. She should not see 1 day in jail. Basically, hard, conspire to plan evidence, which, when taken as a whole, does not connect essay to the case. The cops did that. What? No, Falcon, that's not my whole case at all. See, Greg, that I disagree with that. I don't think she should have spent 1 day in prison. After what was done to her, not a day in prison. So it's a political conspiracy, Travis. The word conspiracy gets attached to anything that is unpalatable to the masses. At times justify, other times not. That made absolutely 0 sense. What? I didn't say that. Well, I don't understand. You guys gotta write who you're talking to. The Blanchard case, Heather, that's a crazy case. You're saying the evidence was planted, yes. I'm saying that according to connecting the dots, yes, the evidence was planted. You make 0 sense. I thought Kratz was reading a book or making a movie when he put all the drama in that conference. No, Sheila, he was living out his sexual fantasies. He was saying exactly what he wants to do to women. Gypsy was in prison from birth, tortured. She escaped and got punished by the government. The Fed. Thank you, Marissa. Most people don't see it like that, and I don't know how. Did Calumet? Oh, someone yelled at me for not saying it right, Calumet County, so I changed it. I'm calling Calumet County Corruption County. It said, Travis, does anyone think maybe the large amount of TH body that is not accounted for may still be buried at Cuss Road? I don't know. But you'll say that the evidence doesn't indicate S.A.'s guilt. The evidence as a standalone does not mean he's guilty. If I kill somebody and I own a gun, doesn't mean that I killed him, even if it's the same type of gun. Doesn't mean I killed him. Because I could have been in fucking Arizona at the time and they were in California and they were in New York City. But just because I own the same type of gun that killed them doesn't make me guilty. That's what I'm saying. Politics isn't a conspiracy. It isn't corruption. It is just a political viewpoint that tough on crime should snuff rights. Politics can get a little iffy. I sort of disagree with you on that, Travis. Politics can be sketchy. And I say that, just look at voting. And I've never understood this, that if you vote, only certain states matter. And as if you're a part of the electoral college, that's all that matters. That's not giving the entire country a right to vote. That's saying that only certain states matter, and once the electoral college doesn't matter what other people think, that's not fair voting. That's corrupt politics. And I know it's been like that since the beginning of time. But if every single US citizen doesn't have a right to vote or their vote doesn't matter, then that system is corrupt. Thank you, Sheree, for subscribing. When unhooking the battery, Stephen and Brendan, Bobby are checking on the headlights. I'm talking about the judges. I missed something when I was speaking. Conspiracy, TH is alive. That I agree with. Totally agree with that. Gypsy manipulated. Go John. She masterminded. If Gypsy was 10 years, Nick should have been offered the same. But Greg, the girl was tortured her entire life. She was fucked up her entire life. Granted, she could have done it herself, but I mean, look at the mother she came from. Of course, she's going to be manipulative. I mean, she should be getting help, not 10 years in prison. But you all say the evidence doesn't indicate S.A.'s guilt. It doesn't. Look what Milwaukee PD did to Bambi, framed her too. Conspiracy, that's what I just said. I'm late, but in reality, it is a conspiracy. Several members that represent the state. TH could very well be alive. She's not alive, Greg. Especially when he did. Teresa was begging Brendan not to do it. Hell, if she said that to Brendan, he would have listened. That's true, too. That's a good point, Sheila. While unhooking the batteries to the demon. I mean, like, that's another thing, Falcon. Sheila brings up a good point. If you look at Brendan, I can't see Brendan as goofy as he is back then. Oh, you know, Stephen, please rape her. He was a virgin. You know, Brendan, make sure you do this to her. You know, let's cut her hair. That wasn't even Brendan's personality. It wasn't even who he was. I mean, that's like logical reasoning that you look at somebody like, yeah, okay, that did not happen like that. It's common sense. Gypsy was a victim. Yeah, I went to that already. Conspiracies are rather common, Travis. Many have happened throughout history. Why has it been like? Yeah, I don't think there's as many conspiracies people think it is. I don't follow your logical at all. I don't know how you don't follow my logical, Falcon. I'm pretty solid with it. I get she was abused. The difference in punishment is what is unfair. This has to involve politics in a way certain positions are elected, not appointed. Absolutely. If it doesn't, then what you're saying is that the cops failed in their own conspiracy. They didn't fail. They're sitting in jail for 12 years already. They didn't fail yet. I don't think they failed at all. Corbin caused the first mess, didn't fix the problem, and county was screwed after exoneration. Corbin was made to fix it the second time, and the murder rap was only way, not kill S.A. or any other means. I wouldn't have killed him. Gypsy didn't even know her own age. I totally agree, Marissa. I don't know why anybody would put her in prison. She was fed through a feeding tube. Exactly. She was told she was blind. She should spend years in a psych ward. I absolutely agree with that. I highly doubt Brendan would have hurt a fly. I agree with that too, Heather. How do we know TH is dead? No DNA confirmation on the bones. Blood found of hers. Deduce she's dead. It's impossible, not probable. It's not impossible, Greg, but it's highly unlikely. I mean, what they do, knock out one of her teeth? I mean, it's the whole theory just is ridiculous to me personally. Brendan's father said he literally wouldn't hurt a fly. I agree with that. I mean, you could see that. It's been like that since 1789. The state Victoria College, the indirect election process. And I'm just saying, Travis, that I get that, but you have to look at that and say, well, if not every American is voting, then it's not a fair election. Like, why certain states matter and they're not even like the biggest states? It's just wrong. If they killed him, family still gets money. Didn't Brennan tell police Bobby threatened him after he accidentally saw her body in their garage? I don't remember that. Bye, Ericos. Here we go. You're just kicking it with Elvis. Elvis and Santa Claus and Easter Bunny are alive. TH's blood was in the RAV4. That's it. But there's too many little things to say that she wasn't murdered. Like your post, Greg. Thanks, Heather and Zig. Small price to pay. A couple of teeth knocked, pulled to kick it with Elvis. The blood doesn't necessarily suggest she's dead. But you guys know I'm not one to believe she's alive. I entertained it back in when it first came out, like maybe. Too many little things. I don't believe she's dead. I mean, I don't believe she's alive. Mass shooters are sometimes people who wouldn't hurt a fly. Charles Manson. Keep getting skipped. Iricos I'm out. Keep getting skipped. Iricos out. I'm out. I'm sorry. I'm trying to go as fast as I can. Are any elections compulsory in the U.S.? Not. No, I don't believe so. Not according to the framers. It was totally fair. It was because of slavery. Doesn't blood come from other means once a month? Yeah, but no, I just don't see it. She's dead for sure. I agree with that. Sorry, I didn't mean to gross anyone out. It's okay, Brian. I think Kratz's press conference did that. Considering they're refusing to hand a RAV over to be tested, we have zero testing not done to the state to say there was any blood in the RAV4 at all. No, they did find blood in the RAV4. Anyone think if Gypsy and Brendan procreated with a child turn out normal? Probably. Gypsy's actually really smart. Charles Manson never killed anyone, only manipulated. I totally agree. Does anyone know what time frame Stephen learned that he hadn't have pick up Jody? I don't remember. There was a push to make it a popular vote back in the 70s. It didn't go anywhere else, southern states. But I'm just saying that however it was voted on, the truth is then it's not a true, then it's not a true voting. It's not. If, half the country didn't vote yet, but as long as Florida votes and Texas votes, then it's good. It's not fair. It is wrong. I don't believe TH is alive either, just saying the evidence isn't definitive or actual death. Yeah, but I'm not Krusty Kratz. I know you're not Krusty Kratz. Pictures of blood in RAV4. Who was the Electoral College favorite since 1900? I couldn't even tell you. I don't know that much about politics. But I do know it's just not fair. Electoral College to me is stupid. Gypsy is normal. She was just birthed by a psycho. Brian Amelia way beyond gross here. Cali, New York would control the outcome of an election in a popular vote. Yeah, because it would go by the biggest states. Electoral College prevents things like this, exactly. Two-party system is broken. Totally agree. But that's what I'm saying. You can't say that it's not corrupt because in its own right, it is kind of corrupt. It has to be. I mean, otherwise you wouldn't have so many different, you wouldn't have electoral colleges. Every single person would get a chance to vote and have it mean something. Can someone tell me if the hair tagged as A5 was DNA tested in the TH's in the back seat? I think it was tested, and I believe it was tested, and it was hers. If I remember correctly, Zellner definitively said that it was her. Not a true democratic process is what you are saying. We are a representative republic. Change it. Gypsy may have been born normal, however, her development years. Greg, her mother fucking tortured her. I mean, her mother allowed to restrict her of her entire childhood, her entire life. What are your thoughts on the Habak family? They never looked like they were grieving at all as they sat and listened to the horrifying details of Teresa's murder. Mom chomped on gum, looking bored. Um, I don't know. I know what you're saying. I don't totally know. I just don't think it. I think it's something else. I don't think it points to her being alive. It's not the same. The blood carries off the load of uterine cells. What about the red fiber on it? See, someone else pointed this out to me. You're talking about the bullet with the red fiber. On a flip side, someone could say that fiber came from Steven's red van, and that red van had red fibers in it. So that theory I didn't think much of. Karen, I think women need to view this from a woman's view and put themselves in Tia's position throughout her life to kind of figure out these things out. All of the male preservative perspectives seem wrong. Male perspectives aren't wrong. Easy to determine menstrual blood. Exactly, I agree. Greg, is anyone really normal? Heather, I agree with that. Nobody's normal. What are your thoughts on the show Convicting a Murderer coming out next year? I think it's going to be a joke, just like his book. I don't. I mean, I'll see it, but I don't think it's going to be anything. I think it's just going to be a bunch of shit, just like he wrote in his book. Heather, no, use normal, not me. With women's lib, all of the players in this case are men. Yeah, but that's not the players in this case. I mean, that's in general. I mean, it's a man's world. As women hate to admit it, but it's true. It's a man's world. Men are in much more power positions than women. There are much more men DA than female DA. There are much more male cops than female cops. So the odds of it being more male are pretty high. All the men have some sort of sexual deviance abuse against women. Brian Mueller, I understand your point, although I'm not sure that will help out much. Women are complicated creatures and don't all think the same. Not one of three's family members dropped a single tear in court. So I was reviewing all the exhibits today, doing some background for someone here. What a list. Explain. I think it's unfair of you to imply how the Hawbuck should have behaved. My theory on why the Hawbucks behave like that, because they already knew what happened to her and they already had her buried and stuff, and I think maybe some of the bones are hers, maybe not all of them. I don't know. I'm not looking too much into how they behaved. Maggie never once seen a tear. A lot of suspect behavior from all of them. Filing a lawsuit for wrongful death against Steve, and he wasn't even convicted yet. I don't think they did it before he was convicted, though. I know they dropped it. Falcon, I lost a child myself and dealt with many grieving parents over my year. Their behavior is extremely odd in this courtroom. I'm so sorry, Maggie. Mike was talking like he was dead before her car was even found. The Hawbucks hide behind that theory. That's because that goes back to my original theory that she was found on the 3rd, and then the setup began. So they already had their daughter. Their daughter was killed is why they act the way they do. They act like most families do. Casey will figure this out. First woman to handle the seriousness of what makes sense, not the craziness that all of the men in this case have created. Maggie, that's you, and sorry, and that's them. Now, in fact, and I get what she's saying. She's right. They were acting very weird, but I don't think they were acting weird because she's alive. I think they were acting weird because they believe. I mean, they already had her body back. Definitely good to have her in that position. Agree 100%. People do grieve in different ways, but there's some little more than obvious. Strained Mike was grieving 2 days. That's because, I'll go back to again my theory. That's because they probably were told that Stephen did it and Brendan did it, and they believed it. So now they're on their trail to set them up because they already did it. Just not their behavior, though. Esper saying it would be for years. What would be for years? Remember, I watch all this as it happened. I live in Wisconsin. MAM helped blow this wide open. Kratz tried stopping them. Absolutely. He still tries. So other exhibits after the jury trial, the family asked for our bones back so they could bury them. 2 lawyers from state went to evidence room to determine what could be released. I believe the Halbach family is hiding something. Absolutely, they're hiding something. People definitely grieve in different ways. What does the fact that Zellner is a woman have to do with anything, Brian? Get off the Halbachs. They are told by people like KK, and they believe it. Absolutely, I agree. This is exactly what happened in WM3. I am a man and think very anal wand, trying to figure it out. Technical aspects. I'm a career troubleshooter, repair technician, things like that. Like this don't follow scientific rules like electronics. That's true. Kratz knew they would expose the truth. Well, that's why Kratz keeps trying to taint the jury. If he ever gets a new trial, that's why Kratz is right there on everybody's, speakers saying, oh, look what he did, look what he did, look what he did. I'll get the ball rolling on this. Travis, how could you be so nice and normal in Erico's chats and be such an ass in Laura's? And I have been asked this by others who watch both, not just my thought. Ooh. I'm analytical. I'm a scientist, and I'm also analytical, so it doesn't always follow gender lines. Should anyone believe what KK says at this point? Nobody should ever believe KK, period. That bothers me a lot. People suspecting the Hallbox of something sinister. Falcon, it's not anyone suspecting something sinister, but okay, let's look at the evidence and really look at the evidence. On November 3rd of 2005, Teresa Halbach's car was taken into police custody and is on a form for it. She is presumed missing. This is on a police form from 11/3 of 2005. Her mom didn't call in till that night. So what does that tell me? That tells me that Teresa was found already. Her car was found already. Maybe she wasn't. Her car was found already. The call was a cover-up. That's when the shit began. That's my opinion. And a lot of people think that my theory might be right because of the way they acted. And this police form says 11/3. And don't even try to tell me they got the wrong date. I'm doing a live stream. Marissa, Marissa wouldn't delete you. Because we love breaking each other's balls. Where are we? What's an anal wand? I was thinking the same thing. That's what what is this? What it printed out as? That bothers me a bit. That people are expecting to have some sensor. Many women in STEM. Finally, 2 family members flipped after seeing the science. The best thing that happened was one of the victim's stepfathers sued Natalie Manny's because we love breaking each other's balls. Marissa, are you deleting me again? Kratz tells jury to forget if the cops planted key. I agree. Falconer's bars me. You don't believe in a setup, so here we are. The bones are found where the dog did not hit on. Falcon, maybe women understand women more than men understand women. Men definitely don't understand women. Not saying it's 100%. Laura, can you make a hokey pokey video? What's a hokey pokey video? There are many routes to a new trial. You don't have to believe in any particular theory, but you do have to avoid Martian. She's alive in UFOs. I agree. I think I deleted Greg by accident in Ericos today. Oddly was trying to remove my own comment and remove the person. Excellent point, Marissa. The 911 call was unsettling. I totally agree with the 911 call. Her mom she sounds bored, like nothing's going on. Absolutely agree with that. You understand women, Travis? Men will never understand women. Actually, we're really not that hard to figure out. This isn't social studies, Brian. What does social studies have to do with men understanding men and women? But the state is the one who brought in the UFOs. She's got a point. My boyfriend understands women. That's why he's my boyfriend. How does a family not second guess the ex-boyfriend? So much evidence. I'll agree with that. Well, of course I do. I understand you. I'm not that complicated. My exes will tell you differently, but I'm really not. You put your right foot in, you put your left foot in. That's right. I'm not doing a hokey pokey. Drop the mic. Ex-boyfriend was not investigated. Women will never understand men. Kind of goes both ways. Men are so easy. They're visual people. You feed a man's ego, you got him wrapped around your finger. I don't understand the state UFO analogy. I think I could be wrong, but I think she just means that the state convicted, that the state started all these, bullshit theories. Like, basically, they drew first blood. That's what I think she means. No? Okay. Karen, he's got you fooled. No man will ever understand a woman. I'm with that, Greg. And his belly, alien could have planted the key. Casey was a woman, and so was TH. All of the attorneys and judges against Avery have been male. Different perspective on what was going on. But, Brian, they've been male because it's a male world. I mean, it's a male-governed world. Here's a plain, simple fact. They had a car with a victim and suspect's blood, and they got a false confession. He's not perfect, but he's better than average. Anyone who makes crying sounds, covers their face, pulls hands away, and has 0 tears is suspect. No worries, I'm sexist against my own kind. Still don't see why Zellner being a woman means anything. So Casey has to go after Ryan to keep SA and BD safe, even if she thinks BOD did it. I don't know. It's just a thought I had. Don't want to piss the hammer off. Then you go from there saying that her family acts weird or that she's alive isn't going to get you where you want to be. I agree with that. I can't see Casey doing anything unethical. Men and women are fully capable of studying the evidence. It's not just the evidence, Falcon. It's connecting the dots. Falcon, you're a bootlicker. I am pointing out that TH's life has not been the focus, is why Casey, her female perspective, needs to be looked through her eyes. I get what you're saying to a certain extent, but I don't think it matters that much. The same way I don't put any weight in the way Stephen and Brendan were raised, saying that, that's why they may have killed somebody or whatever. I think it kind of goes the same way. Because if you want to bring up somebody's life, then you sound, not you personally in general, then you're doing what the guilters do. Well, he was such a horrible person. Even if she was fucked up. Like, oh well. That doesn't mean, her past life doesn't really mean much. Make me spell this out. Jesus. No, I get what you're saying, Brian. I do. I'm just saying I don't totally agree with it. Men and women are both capable, but as a generalization, tend to have differing skill sets. I mean, I'll be honest with you, and this is going to sound horrible, and women don't hate me for this. I would much rather have a male attorney than a female, unless they are like gung-ho. But when I was searching for an attorney, I looked for males. I just think you think of an attorney as stronger as a male than you do a female. Doesn't mean it's true, but in general, you see them as stronger or more respected from a judge. I would say that in my experience, women tend to see the bigger picture while men tend to be more task-oriented, not in all cases. Yeah, just as a general statement. The only thing that was relevant with TH is who in her life could be a viable suspect. And were they investigated, excluded, or not? They were. They were all excluded. But not all of them were investigated. Ryan wasn't. Um, I didn't say anything about the swab experiments. Can you do the weather topless like they did on that one Weather Network? Nope. I read somewhere that Rosie O'Donnell will not hire a male nanny. I wouldn't hire a male nanny. I wouldn't feel comfortable. Not that I can afford a nanny right now, but I wouldn't hire a male nanny. Men who understand women make great lawyers. Lawyers need to worry about reading people in court because they don't do it right. The most lawyers do not understand domestic violence victims at all. I like Marissa's idea. Would you let SA babysit for your kids? My boys I would, not my daughter. But I wouldn't let most men babysit my daughter. Not that she needs a babysitter, but I certainly wouldn't let Kratz anywhere near any of my children. Ready, all people. But not, all right, not because if I interviewed him to babysit, he's not the type of person in general that I would want around my kids. But either is Barb, Carla, or any of them. So it's not, I wouldn't want Scott around them either. So it's not necessarily a criminal record, just their type of people. That type of person. It's just not my best friend next door. I don't know how to explain it. I don't think about so woman. I don't have enough info to answer you. Kratz would be a prize nanny, though. Oh my God, that's scary to even think like that. Maybe when I'm better at not getting caught because the amount of female teachers getting in trouble is amazing. I'll agree with that. I think a man can understand a woman and vice versa. I mean, of course you can, but you have to be willing to understand. A lot of men don't want to understand women. They just want what they want. KK is an idiotic creep. How could Teresa's family believe anything he's fake because he's a DA? If it was Steven versus Barb and I had zero other options, I would go with Steven. I probably would too. Thinking about it, I just think they're all like, they're just not the type of people I hang out with. So no, they would never be babysitting my children. I have no desire to meet any of them, nothing. That's where one place Irikos and I completely differ, and we've said it before. I have no desire to meet the family. I have no desire to go there. I have no desire to get close to them. Not about them. I'm about the injustice. Where he's all about the whole picture. I could care less. How long do you think Stephen and Brenda will sit in jail? I am hoping not the rest of their life. I wouldn't let SA tutor my kids, put it that way. That was a good one. Karen on the UFO is just pointing out that where the case sits today in terms of reversing an injustice, conspiracy theories don't get you there post-conviction. That's very true. My son, for the most part, raised his time girlfriend's younger sisters, 6-16. They turned out really good, although you can certainly see where my son has influence. Absolutely, Ziggy. 100%. Well, then I say a male nanny. I'm talking about a trained, experienced professional nanny, not just a male babysitter. Well, it depends. Is he cute? Is he eye candy? No, I'm just kidding. It depends. It depends on where he comes from, who he is, you know. There's a lot of factors. I can't just say because he's male, I'm going to say no. Or if he's female, I'm just going to say no. There's factors that contribute to that. O'Donnell won't hire one because she's a lesbian. Because she doesn't like men. She's a man hater. That's totally different. See, son influenced by girl babysitting. The best nannies come from Ireland. I wouldn't know. I don't have a nanny. Um, I would think Brazil, though, would be the best eye candy. I'm not sure how that fits with the conspiracy theories. I don't believe in the typical UFO. Please explain more. Waiting for someone to ask if I'm a nanny now. I don't think you're a nanny. What was the nanny case? That is Zellner's other case, Melissa something, where she supposedly killed a baby or whatever. She made a false confession and something like that. With that case, though, the father is paying an arm and a leg for Zellner. She's not doing a pro bono. Now, Falcon, they want to know if you're a nanny. I don't think you're a nanny. I might be wrong. Don't have kids if you need a nanny, in my opinion. Oh, please, Merce, I would love to have a nanny. I had one when I was still with my kid's dad, and it was wonderful. But she did like cleaning and that kind of stuff. But we were both working. Nanny's no different than a babysitter. You're thinking like a full-time nanny who's, goes on vacations. You're thinking that kind of nanny. Falcon, I think you have fun being the other side of the coin just to be the other side. Oh no, I think he really believes in they're guilty. You said the state started with the UFO theory, which I took not to be literal, and was trying to get an example. They had a solid case to start with, and Gina and Derry started tearing it down. What else is there? Now with the girls, let's not undo all the feminist work here. Women can have kids and work. That's what I'm saying. A babysitter is just like a nanny. It wasn't me that mentioned anything about the UFO. Women are trained to fear men. Who fears men? I fear nobody, especially male strangers. We are wired to not want male alone with their kids. It's not personal. Finally off work, having a rum and coke, listening to his Grateful Dead. Nice. I thought you worked 24/7, Jamie. We're talking about Rosie O'Donnell, so of course I'm taking the uffle on Raise Your Kid's Nanny. Yeah. My son and me got the girls to love Brussels sprouts and broccoli. Good guy. That's what I was thinking too. Travis, that was on me, Shauna. I was just pointing at Ellie on the state that flippantly said an alien could have been in the room. Sorry, Travis. I do believe they're guilty. Absolutely. There's no question in my mind, just to be clear. Sorry, I guess I don't understand women after all. I thought you just meant, Shauna, that, like they drew first blood. That's how I took it. Let's see what else. I'm going to wrap this up in like 10 minutes. I can't believe it's almost 12 o'clock already. Did you get Travis, did you get the nanny thing, the Melissa case? Is that what you were talking about? If I had to guess, I'd say Falcon. He said he was in his 50s. 10 minutes, so an hour and a half. I know, right, Karen? 10 minutes plus an hour. I'm a graphic designer and a video editor. Yes, yes. Yeah. Are you familiar with the case? I mean, do you want more details? I just didn't know what you were asking for. That was the big one on Court TV. When you saw, I noticed that because I could see myself. It's weird. Like you're sucking yourself inside out. That would be interesting. Karen, I'm not sure how it fits conspiracy theory. I don't believe the typical UFO type. Please explain more. All right, I'll explain it. She was saying that Kratz or somebody made a comment that, okay, so a UFO was in the room. So when you made the comment about a UFO, like conspiracy theories, she was saying that the conspiracy theory was actually done by Kratz first. That's what she meant. So in Karen's question, was that what I was trying to explain? That was what I was trying to explain. Yes. Aliens. I survived that one. I didn't suck myself out. I'm thinking that's what she meant. I mean, that's made sense to me. How do you get a name to go orange? You're welcome, Shauna. So I was right? I don't know. It's a brand new chat-like room, but I don't even know how it's connected to YouTube. No, but I understand women, you have to take a little good with the bad. Put at before your name. Because I don't see it as orange on this end. But I guess it works for you guys to see it. Thank you. I agree, Gypsy should be freed. 100%. Oh my God, we agree. You have to be special. I am special. Just first name works. And understand that women have to have orange. I'm not even going to touch that one. Only at their end. Gotcha. You have to type Laura. Shut up, Brian. I believe she's guilty of that crime, but there are extenuating circumstances. Oh, that one you see extenuating circumstances. But yes, she should be free. If I perplex QT, then she sees her name highlighted. Yes, that I see. Oh, I see. So when they do it, you see it highlighted, but everyone else doesn't see it highlighted. It's orange. I see it orange. That worked too. Finally, we have something in common. I know, right? I was saying you have to be special to get orange and even understand. I gotcha. No, because I can't see it as orange unless it's my name. So I didn't get it. Ding, ding, ding. I got it. We have a winner. You guys are rowdy tonight. I give you an extra video and you're rowdy. Falcon, what do you think of abortion? Falcon, I think, said that he's all for abortion. Right? Falcon believes in women's rights. Sometimes the issue in a trial is the punishment. That's true, too. That man says, oh, no, none of us eat orange. None of us eat as orange unless it's our own name. Extenuating circumstances. Travis Williamson, now you have an orange name. Yeah, see, like Shauna, you wrote it to Travis. I don't see it as orange. Yes, Brian, I see it as orange. It's a PJ party last week called Kaczynski. I know, but it's too late now. It's 12 o'clock. Totally forgot. I just ate a cannoli, so I'm hyped up. I am jealous. I haven't had a cannoli in years. Abortion should be legal. See, Falcon, so we agree on a lot of things. Just the Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey we don't agree on. Whippy, did he answer? Yeah, he doesn't believe in it. He thinks it should be legal. I know, right, Maggie? I'm jealous, too. I want a cannoli. Not that my fat ass needs a cannoli, but... Did he answer what? Should abortion be legal? Yes. Abortion should be legal. 9/11 shouldn't be legal. Like I said, I'm not jumping into 9/11 theory. No catch. Huh? Kaczynski. No, his wife answered or his maid or somebody. She was very weird. But yeah, she answered, and I was trying to get a hold of her, saying like, I'm calling from an online news article, and she didn't answer. She wouldn't let me talk to him, but he was probably sleeping. It was like 11 o'clock. I live in New York's pizza place on every corner. Where in New York? Or you can tell me privately. I grew up in New York. I grew up in Queens and Long Island. We're rowdy, you're rowdy. I'm not rowdy. I'm in my pajamas. How rowdy can I be? Before I go, I love you necklace. Thank you. I wasn't even gonna wear one, but I felt so like naked without it. Um, she didn't hang up either. No, she didn't hang up. We agree Alex Jones is a clown. Absolutely. You should do a 9/11 chat so we can argue about it. We could do a 9/11 chat. 11 o'clock you called. Yeah, I called about 11 o'clock or 10:30. Do you did you record it? Yeah, well, I recorded it's on a video. It's on last week's video. Last Saturday night actually. LOL, what is this in regards to Laura says harassment? She says, well, Len is sleeping. Oh, I don't even remember what I said, but I was just kind of rolling with it, trying to say something. We should have done it early. I promise next week we'll do it early. I was just gonna do like an interview. I was trying to like come up with something off the top of my head because I didn't think she was gonna even ask me a question, and so I just came up with it. I realized it's 5 p.m. and I'm still in my PJs. PJs are good. But she was real sketchy about speaking to me tonight. Who are you wearing tonight? TJ Maxx. No one special. They're soft, fuzzy. No designer. They were cheap. Don't bother getting dressed now, Karen. I was gonna buy this Ralph Lauren pajamas, but they weren't as soft. I was like, screw it, I'll buy the cheaper ones. 1 a.m. here. It's 12 here. I don't like abortion, no, the idea of it, but I would agree to keep it legal. Isn't that the thing to do? Wardrobe furnished by TJ Maxx. When I need something on the run, TJ Maxx is wonderful. But their clothes, like to buy clothes there, they shrink. Like I don't like their stuff. I think a lot of it shrinks. 1254. What's that? 1254. Fucking nobody likes abortion. That's true. Please talk about upcoming shows so we can prepare. Okay. I would like to do a 9/11 show. I would like to do a. I want to do more stuff than just MAM. It gets repetitive. We can do more cases. We can do more stuff. There's so many other cases out there that are corruption. There's so many other cases out there that have a lot of problems. There's so many interesting cases out there, not quite as interesting as Making a Murderer, but I also want to cover other cases. I also want to talk about other cases and, get into other cases and how the system failed people and stuff like that. I'm trying to keep you moving. Now, time check. Night Zig. I don't know. I mean, like, you guys can tell me what you want to talk about too. Other false confessions, but stuff that's like not on TV. We can also get into serial killers. Just like I did the video the other day connecting Chris Watts and Brendan Dassey with the defense. With the public defenders. Like more stuff like that. Like to get away from Making a Murder. Like Iracose is like Making a Murder 24/7. And that's cool. That's awesome for him. But I want to do more stuff. I want to, talk about other crimes, other cases, other conspiracies, other false confessions, that kind of stuff. Erico's chatting a bit about serial killer cases, but I hadn't researched prior to. Yeah, there's a lot of them. I mean, I'll show you guys next week. I have these serial murder cards that I've had forever since I was a kid. They're probably worth something by now, but they're in like case. I don't know. I was obsessed with serial killers for a long time. The way they think, the psychology of the way they think, like just that kind of stuff. But I don't. I'm with Travis and I'm with Falcon on the conspiracy theory end of it. There's a lot of conspiracy theories that you can say about a lot of things, but I like basing opinions and stuff on evidence. Like Gypsy, for example, that I do not believe she should be in jail because of everything she went through. Okay, that starts a good debate. Well, why shouldn't she be in jail if she actually killed somebody? That kind of stuff. Are Saturday night's going to be PJ party prank calls? Yes, Shauna. They definitely are. We need a vote to pick the topic. Now, my ex that set up this system told me that there is a way to do it, but he's not around, so I can't ask him tonight. But he said that through here, there's a way to do that like I can poll you guys with giveaways and all that kind of stuff, and you guys can submit like what you want to discuss. I'll ask him tomorrow exactly how to do it. If Flora's gonna be live, it is always at 9. On weekends it is. How about a case that we can watch a docu about then discuss? Absolutely, we could try to find one. I will try to find one. Because we can watch it through here as well. I can do it right through here. Sean if Laura's gonna go. Oh, yeah, it's usually weekends that I'm gonna go at 9. Need a deadline for when a topic is due. So, all right, how about this? Saturday nights, we'll do topics that you guys want to discuss. So let me know on Wednesday or Tuesday, whenever I do the video on Wednesday or Tuesday, so I can also prepare for it on Saturday. If there's any specific cases you guys want to see, that there's any kind of documentary on it, let me know. But not interested in any conspiracy topics. I'm here to try to educate the law. What happened on a certain way in a case from a legal perspective. You could poll to our Facebook group. That I can do as well. But Travis, that's what I'm talking about. It's not a matter of conspiracy theories. I use that word, but I don't mean conspiracy theories like there's an alien and the UFO. I mean conspiracy theories like, is it a conspiracy theory? Should somebody have gotten jail time? Should Melissa, the nanny, be in jail? Did the staircase, did the guy do it? That kind of stuff. Cases that have caused controversy where some people are on this side, some people are on that side. Now discuss why. That kind of thing. I think your perspective can always add value, Travis. I agree. So it's helpful to know ahead of time. I'll try to get up to speed on whatever is discussed. Because there's a lot of cases that are fucked up. There's no other way to put it. There really are. And there's lots that don't have movies made after them. The idea that Avery was framed as a conspiracy theory, I know people were going to say that Avery framed as a conspiracy theory. But it's not really a conspiracy theory because there's evidence to prove, there's actual physical evidence. Just like you think there's physical evidence to prove he did it, there's physical evidence to prove there's a conspiracy theory. 9/11 was a shot of truthers, and I was just saying I have no interest talking about 9/11. But, Travis, what I'm interested in is why people think that the government was with Osama bin Laden to say that they did it. Like that kind of stuff. You can't have a debate unless you have two sides. And if you don't have two sides, you don't have a debate. So if you're going to debate things and talk about things, you need two sides. This happens every day and that's what I just said. Is there gold in Fort Knox? The more literal definition of conspiracy. Yeah, there's conspiracy is different ways to say conspiracy. It's all the Masons. That's another conspiracy that I don't buy, that everyone in Wisconsin tells me I'm wrong. But I even did a video about that it doesn't matter if these guys are Masons. They're not conspiring to do this big thing. Me and Ericos actually had an argument about that way back in the day, and so did me and Dave Bagoda. Because I say this whole Mason thing is bullshit, and they disagree with me. Conspiracy theory lacks evidence. Conspiracy, that's what I'm saying. There are 9/11 truthers who think there's a mountain of evidence to support their assertions. Yeah, but it's bullshit assertions. They're not basing on anything real. They're just their own theory. And I go back to Alex Jones. Thank you, Wolfat. I just got legal cases where their entire websites, books, blah blah blah. Yeah, but Travis, and we will do that. But a lot of people do want to discuss other things besides actual legal. So if it's something you're not interested in, you don't have to stick around. And then you can come back for the next one that's legal issues. But there are also legal issues that are hidden in some what's it called? Some cases that you don't know are legal issues till you delve into it. Falcon, there's also books and everything else on how police plant evidence, and you don't believe it. So that's not fair either. I mean, there's books and stuff for everything. I said, not that matters. I'm happy to do that. I'm cool with that. Exactly. Where are we? No, because there are, though. There's a lot of legal stuff in cases that aren't well known, and they're pretty serious. Travis, don't you get bored being a lawyer and then spending all your free time in law chats? LOL, expand your horizon. What do you think? I don't even know who that is. I think Travis is uncomfortable with the stigma with conspiracy theory. But I am the same way, Falcon, and I will never deny that. I will never be into these conspiracy theories. I will never say, like, all these fake, things happened and, school shootings never happened and everything was about gun control. I don't buy it. So I agree with you guys on that, 100%. But there is stuff that goes on that we don't know about. I mean, that's fact. I'm a lawyer too, but I practice in commercial litigation, so this is my escapism. I love educating people about law or constitution. But I thought you were sort of with 9. No, that's not what I said. I said I believe from the day it happened that we allowed it to happen. We didn't cause it. We didn't make it. We didn't hook up with Osama bin Laden and say, yes, we did this. I don't believe there was a bomb that went off in the buildings and that caused them to fall. I think the logical explanation for that is that they never tested the buildings with planes going through them before. The whole thought that the planes didn't exist, I think, is nonsense. All those conspiracy theories, I don't agree with. But I do believe, and I've said it from 9/11, is that our intelligence knew what was going to happen and we allowed it to happen. That's my theory. I don't buy into some of it. I'm looking at the evidence. I'm looking at all the mitigating factors around 9/11 that caused me to feel that. You are letting Falcon turn this into 9/11. Actually, I'm done though. That's where I'm already 5 minutes over longer. So I don't know what LI hop is. Sorry, I won't mention it again. What's the DREJKA parking lot shooting? I don't know that. No, the only thing with 9/11 that burns me is people that say there's no planes. Yes, there were. People that listen to Alex Jones bullshit bother me. That kind of stuff. It's actually a well-researched, studied thing why people are so willing to believe something that is just a fantasy. But it's not even a good fantasy. It's just stupid. Let it happen on purpose. That they allowed it to. Not that they let it happen on purpose. They allowed it to happen. Our intelligence, our highly intelligent military, knew that it was coming. Kind of odd with the insurance thing. But they knew that it was coming. And they allowed it to happen. I don't believe they blew up the World Trade Center. Our government blew up the World Trade Center and killed 3,000 people. Sorry, not buying that one. But I do know that one of them was bombed and that our Air Force took down that plane in Pennsylvania. This I know fact. But all the other bullshit, it's just not right. but I know that is fact from Air Force family. I mean, that is true. I'm sorry I missed most of the chat. Oh, you missed most of the chat, Shauna? I thought you were here for most of it. Tax protests are a good example. High intelligence, educated. That's we can't always believe what we're told. Absolutely, it's more likely yes. Oklahoma City bombing. Nah, it wasn't done by the president. Marissa, you're good. Fight over handicapped parking. Boyfriend comes out. Blindside. Oh, I think I remember that. He was with his son or something. Actually, do you feel anger towards them? Allowing and letting it happen on purpose. Same thing. Yeah, I guess it's the same thing, but they allowed it. They turned the other way like it wasn't coming. So yeah, I guess you could say it's the same thing. All the wealth is controlled by 5 families. That's not. No, I don't know if I go with that. Unibomber, Sandy Hook Truthers. Sandy Hook Truthers is a moron. Gotta run. Night Lord. Night Maggie. The UN is the devil. Girlfriend was with son. Oh, that. I'm thinking that there was a case where some guy was killed. Like he was with his son or something, and he shot another guy over a parking lot or something. Which page will the poll be at? I don't know. I'll know tomorrow. They come in. Oh, I thought that's what you're doing, Travis. Like throwing out stuff. My best summation is that Travis is just throwing out different conspiracy theories that people say because none of what he's saying I agree with. So that's why I'm thinking. Anything tomorrow night? Maybe. I can't say for sure. I say maybe. I got to clean tomorrow. By the way, though, if you guys have not seen the movie A Star is Born, it is amazing. Lady Gaga looks phenomenal, and it is such a good movie. Tongue-in-cheek. Each watch West Memphis 3 movie again. As an Oz, I support gun legislation. Good night, Brian. Memphis. I knew what you meant. But yeah, if you guys seriously, if you have not seen A Star is Born, great movie. Really, really good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm going to see Gaga in Vegas. Falcon's a Gaga fan. Help Laura hire a maid. That's good, Marissa. I was involved in a small part of that case. Of which case? Lady Gaga? Or West Memphis 3? Go to see A Star is Born. Oh, it was awesome. I watched it on Kodi today. If you download Kodi, you can watch it without going to movie theater, but it was so good. What state are you broadcasting from? I'm in Alabama. I'm trying to figure out if we can go out to dinner. I don't see a ring on your finger. No ring on these fingers. I'm single. Is the live going to go for another 4 hours? No, I'm going to bed. She needs a nanny from Ireland. I love Gaga. I don't know if I like her so much. I didn't, Travis, because I was doing my makeup. But I was close to crying, but I was kind of doing a million other things. Now I want to binge WM3. I don't think I'm old enough to be her dad. Kodi kind of saw. Oh, I love Kodi. Oh my God. I live on Kodi. I don't even have cable. I told the kids we're cutting all cable. 2 years ago, I said just go use Kodi. I know there's other ones, but I don't know. I like Kodi. But I'm telling you, it was a really, really good movie. I knew Gaga was talented, but I always thought she was a Madonna wannabe. And then about 3 years ago, I really got into her artistry and really how talented she is. Did you cry for A Star is Born? Only for like a minute, but I knew he was going to kill himself. I knew he was going to die. I didn't know he was going to kill himself. But after he was in rehab, I'm like, he's totally going to... Oh, I'm totally giving it away. So I'm going to stay quiet. Travis, you just totally screwed me up. Cameron was less... No, what I'm saying is that I got tears in my eyes, but I was doing my makeup, so I was trying not to cry. But Lady Gaga is amazing. She really is. I have a Fire Stick too, but for some reason Kodi is not working. Oh, I haven't seen it. He kills himself. Now they just gave away the whole fucking movie. Uh, but it was really good. I also didn't know that he produced it. I didn't realize that until the rolling credits. There are 3, I think, who kills himself. Guys, I'm seeing you Tuesday. I know I'm going to shut up. I always cry at the end of Color Purple. All right, guys, I am done. We're already at 3:10, and I was supposed to be done at 3. So, Brian, I'll let you know tomorrow. I'll set something up through YouTube or something. And I'll figure out exactly how to get you guys recommendations. I know it can be done here. He told me it can be done here. Now we just need to do it. I thought you meant that one of the WM3 killed himself. No. I want to see your clock. It must be broke because it's well past 10 minutes. I know. So Brian, I will let you guys know tomorrow. Brian, are you on Facebook? Oh, you know what? As a matter of fact, YouTube now has this chat thing that I could send you guys notifications or whatever. I will post it there tomorrow of a topic. How's that? Fair enough? Marissa, please say I need to ask you about the Steam Lab thing. Thanks. Have a good night. Good night, guys. Shauna, what do you need to know? Streamlab. No, this movie. No, in this movie. I will. Do you guys see that though? Like when they just started it yesterday, where it's some kind of chat thing that I could like post a highlight to all my subscribers, I guess. What is it like? Is it? But yeah, it's connected to my PayPal. We set it up where you can pay by PayPal or I think credit card, but credit card, like I didn't fill it out all the way. I don't know. We were on it like 5 hours this morning. Marissa posted a link to my homepage. I said he killed himself as far as Star is Born. Shh, not talking about it. People haven't seen it yet. Yeah, it's same thing like Super Chat, except it goes right to my PayPal, so it's only like PayPal fee or whatever. There's people saying you lose too much money that way, and you know, someone mentioned it last night, and I didn't know all the things that this can do. There's still a lot of stuff I gotta learn, but I had to do other stuff today. So but I'm also gonna find out how to get rid of this like keeps cutting out thing. We were working on it. I was trying to look online, and something's wrong. But I promised you guys a background, so I was giving you a background. Yeah, you can just pay from PayPal, but the Steam links does go right to my PayPal. Steam Labs doesn't take anything. Like YouTube takes a percentage, Steam Labs doesn't take anything. The cat is out of the bag. Thanks. Someone won't mention. I know, because you were talking about it. So if I did, I kind of watched half yesterday, half today. It was a really good movie. And she just did a phenomenal job, and so did he. Good night, Jamie. It is time for bed. It's 12 o'clock, 12:30, almost 12:30. So have a wonderful night, guys. I will keep you guys posted, I promise. And I will see you guys, I want to say Monday or Tuesday. Wednesday now, definitely, because American Horror Story is over. So I can do a Wednesday night as well. Laura, what is your email address? All right. The one going to my PayPal is bizbuzzenterprises@gmail.com. bizbuzzenterprises@gmail.com. That goes right to my PayPal. My cat says hi. My puppies say hi. He's been quiet all night. He needs a bath. So thank you, Shauna. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jamie, who's always working. Marissa, you were amazing. Travis, you fought, you debated wonderfully. And good night, guys. I will see you guys on Monday, Wednesday. We'll figure it out. I'll let you guys know. All right? Peace out. I don't even know how to end this. Oh, there we go.